Wasn't really planning on going live, but I got to. Steelers just drafted Drew Allar in the 3rd round. Wow. I found my headphones too. You guys see that? I got my headphones. It's actually distracting. I think I'm going to take my headphones off. I'm trying to talk and I'm listening to the broadcast. Yeah, I don't like this. I actually really don't like this. I'm turning the headphones off. What we thinking? I'm not going to hate on the pick. I told you guys this. If it's me, I'm fine bypassing quarterback, especially if Rodgers is coming back. I'm fine bypassing quarterback in a serious way in this draft, taking any of these dudes in the mid rounds. Maybe you take someone like I did in my mock draft, like Cool Payton or Taylor Green in like the 6th or 7th round. But I'd rather build out the rest of the roster, get more receivers, get an extra D lineman, get another cornerback, get a couple extra O linemen, a safety. I'd rather focus on that in the first 4 or 5 rounds as opposed to taking someone like Drew Allar, Garrett Nussmeier, Carson Beck. But I ain't going to hate on the pick. I'm not, because it's the quarterback position. The Steelers' future at the position is in flux. There's uncertainty around it, not only for this year with Rodgers' decision being up in the air, which, by the way, I'm here to tell you isn't up in the air, and I'll explain later. Just remind me in the chat. I'll tell you why Rodgers' decision isn't up there. He's 100% going to be in a Steeler uniform in 2026. I promise you that. But for sure, when you're talking about 2027 and beyond, quarterback position's in flux. A lot of uncertainty. Will Howard, I know a lot of us believe in him, but he's a 6th-round pick. No experience in preseason, regular season, like no game action at all from Will Howard at a professional level. And then we also have Mason Rudolph, who we know what Mason Rudolph is at this point. So I'm not going to be against adding someone into the room for competition, adding a young guy in the room and someone that is as talented as Drew Allar, that's going to compete with Will Howard, that's going to compete with Mason Rudolph, not only this year, but down the line. But, man, it gets interesting, huh? Will Howard versus Drew Allar. Who do you got? Will Howard, Billy Howard versus Drew Allar. I like it, man. I like the competition for the future of the Steelers at the quarterback position. Who's going to be the future franchise? Maybe it's neither of them. Maybe it's a guy we drafted in 2027. But between the two, who you got? I'm still rolling with Will Howard, man. I'm still rolling with Billy Howard. Drew Allar, he got the talent. He got the arm strength, I guess you could say. Will Howard's got the wins. Will Howard's got the rings, though. Will Howard's got the shit that really matters when push comes to shove. When you want to win a ball game, who do you want? I think that's the question you got to ask for yourself. And let's not discredit Will Howard's talent. What throw can't Will Howard make? And this goes back to the whole draft process with him last year. And these are some of the questions that I was asking. Why is Will Howard not being – if Shedeur Sanders and who else was Tyler Shuck, like some of these guys were being rated as 1st round, 2nd round talents, Jalen Milroe, kind of mispronounced his name there a little bit. These guys were all being considered, 1st, 2nd round guys. Like, why isn't Will Howard at least in that same tier? Maybe you have your certain preference for prospects and stuff, but what can't Will Howard do? I'll say it again, or I'll ask it again, and no one can give me a straight answer. He's got the size, got the leadership, got the moxie, got the winning, got the rings, can make every throw, mobility, toughness. What more do you want? And some people want to maybe knock his accuracy. I remember Louis Riddick was comparing Ty Simpson to Will Howard earlier this offseason, and he said Will Howard's not even in the same stratosphere as Ty Simpson. And one of Ty Simpson's so-called strengths is accuracy. Well, Will Howard's more accurate than Ty Simpson. Will Howard went on a run in the college football playoff and played his best ball when the lights were the brightest and won a national championship. What did Ty Simpson do in the college football playoffs last year? And I don't want to hear about a better team, this and that. Will Howard had – dude, it's Alabama. You got Ryan Williams down there. You got a second-round pick and receiver and Jeremy Bernard across from him. He had enough talent down there in Alabama to get it done, to go on a better run than what Alabama went on this year with Ty Simpson. Like, come on. Will Howard versus Drew Allar. Man, that's borderline like a little tongue twister. Will Howard, Drew Allar. Billy Howard. I can't knock the pick, though, man. I can't knock the pick. Invest in the quarterback position. Bring in competition for Will Howard. May the best man win. Who you guys got, though? This is the hottest take I've heard in a while. Wow, this is a hot take. No, just flat out right now. More talented, maybe. More natural talent, fine. Playing the quarterback position, it's not even close. Mendoza just won a Heisman. He's the number one overall pick. Won a national championship at Indiana. Knock on Drew Allar. It's kind of like the opposite of Will Howard in a way. Will Howard wins. Will Howard steps up and is the best in the biggest moments when the lights are the brightest. Drew Allar, when he faces off against Ohio State, when he goes up against Oregon, when he's in the college football playoff, when there's a game late in the season for Big Ten supremacy, he plays his worst. Throws some boneheaded picks in big spots. Listen to Steelers teammates, even though Will Howard hasn't even played. Listen to how they talk about Will Howard and the edge that he's got. That's all I'm saying. Like, you don't hear that type of stuff about Drew Allar. Now, can he develop that? It could. He flip the switch. That's why you draft a guy like him. You see, you take a chance. 'Cause he's got some stuff that you can't teach in terms of size, arm talent, and some of that stuff. You see if he can get in McCarthy's system and his quarterback school and start to refine his game at the quarterback position. Compete with Howard. And as I said, may the best man win. John Easton, Drew Allar is a beast, LFG. I don't know about that. Oh, wow, we just got a steal. Steelers just got an absolute steal hit. Wow, this is kind of part of my mock draft. This is one of the picks in my mock draft. Right, this is the Steelers taking Donn Everett. Am I wrong? Am I reading the screen right? Can I get the full screen here? This freaking bar at the bottom's covering my screen. What is going on? All right, this is pissing me off, man. Did we just draft someone? Donn Everett. Am I right? Did that just happen? Yeah, this is an absolute steal. This guy was being talked about as late second round, early third round pick. Blazing 40. Don't need a cornerback, but at this point, third round. Oh, I think I got him in the fourth. Did I get him in the fourth round of my mock draft? I think that's why it was really a steal whenever I took him. But I think that's a nice pick. I still want receiver. And this goes back to the Drew Allar pick, this Donn Everett pick. These are fine picks. I'm not going to complain about these picks at all. We're rounding out the draft room right now, or the draft picks that we're bringing in. A bunch of different positions covering all of our bases. But I'd still like to double up on receiver. I'd still like to overinvest in receiver. And I believe, let me see who's still available. Unless I missed something, I think did Zachariah Branch go? Yeah, he's not here anymore. Skylar Bell was, though. I wouldn't have minded that. Now, we passed on McCoy from Tennessee to get Everett. I know there's injury concerns with McCoy, but based off talent, he's first round. So should we have taken that extra risk by bringing in McCoy? Because we're not asking him to play right away either. Branch was right there when we picked Allar. Yeah, that's the thing. We could have taken Branch instead of Allar, added to the receiver room, and he's good in special teams. Could have been an asset for us there. That's the trade-offs, though. Obviously, Allar probably ain't playing this year, right? You draft him for the future. But in doing that, you lessen the potential impact that you could have on this season by not drafting Zachariah Branch or not drafting a guard. Guys that can actually play this year. That's the trade-off. Yeah, he's still here. Actually, this wouldn't be a bad pick either if we got Jennings Dunker. I wouldn't be opposed to Jennings Dunker. For sure. I'm surprised he's still around. That wouldn't be a bad pick. I like for this next third-round pick at 99, Skylar Bell at receiver. Ted Hurst went. I saw that he just went recently. Pregnon's still there from Oregon. Take him easily. You take Dunker. Offensive tackle, guard, flexibility, projects better to guard. Those would be my top 3 picks, I think. Kyle Lewis, though, too. I would really like Kyle Lewis out of Pitt, but that's another one of those like Donn Everett picks, Drew Allar picks. How much they really going to play this year, especially Drew Allar. The chance of him playing this year, slim to none. Everett saying he's going to be buried on the secondary depth chart, the cornerback depth chart. Kyle Lewis, he'll be buried on the linebacker depth chart, but he's a guy I really like coming out of Pitt. No biasness either. No biasness. I'm right on all the Pitt guys that I predict are going to be good coming out of Pitt. I'm right about all of them. And some of you guys are going to bring up Kenny Pickett. Kenny Pickett. Before the draft, before we actually took Kenny Pickett in the first round, I had some hesitancy. I'm not going to lie. I mean, I loved his game at Pitt. Kenny Heisman was real his senior year. Should have won the Heisman. But in terms of transitioning to the pro, I had some concerns. I did. I mean, part of it, too, was I just wanted us to run it back with Ben. But I had some concerns with how he was going to translate to the pros. Now, once we drafted him and I knew that he was going to be in a good situation here in Pittsburgh, at least better than most, which turned out actually being not as good as most, worse than most with Canada and the lack of weapons that he had in the bad offensive line in his first 2 years here in Pittsburgh. But anyway, I thought he hit every check mark along the way. His rookie offseason, then whenever he was actually given the job, his rookie year, the game-winning drives, I was seeing a bunch of throws that he was capable of making in the pros. I'm like, yeah, there's not a throw that I think he's lacking. I don't think there's lack of arm strength. I mean, we saw him play good in that Christmas Eve game when it was -30. The ball was cutting through the wind. He had the game-winning pass to George Pickens. He was hitting every check mark along the way, and he was playing winning football, not turning the ball. I was like, okay, I'm in. Yeah, I'm in on Kenny Pickett with the Steelers. But the draft process, there was some hesitancy. I did like whenever the Steelers took him, though, because every quarterback was available. I'm like, all right, they see something in Kenny. All quarterbacks are on the board for them at pick whatever we had. It was probably 20 or 21, again, just like we normally pick. And I was like, all right, we liked him better than Malik Willis. We liked him better than all these other quarterbacks. Let's just trust the process. And then, again, I saw him hit every check mark along the way. Good in preseason, good in training camp by all reports. Then after Mitch was kind of sucking the first 3.5 weeks of the season, we throw Kenny in there, go through some growing pains, but then turn it around second half of the season. It's like, yeah, Kenny's looking like he could be the franchise guy. There's no reason why he couldn't be. I don't even think any of you guys are believing me in what I'm saying there. I'm telling you the truth, though. I'm telling you the truth. It doesn't take much for me to sway my opinion. I mean, I'm starting to believe in this Max dude from Arizona State now. Did some research, listened to some of his interviews, watched some tape. See that he's highly talented, but doesn't have much experience playing football. So if he gets some good coaching with these new O-line coaches that we got, Jari Evans and that guy McCarthy brought over from the Packers, who's a longtime assistant coach with McCarthy over there in Green Bay. Let's see. It's still a weird pick with us already having Fautanu, Broderick Jones, and Dylan Cook at tackle. Still a weird pick. Still don't know what the hell the configuration is going to be on this offensive line. But anyway, Chris Arkwright, Deke, do they use all the rest of their picks, or do they trade stuff for next year? What do you mean by the trade stuff for next year? Like trade down and get future picks? I guess that's what you would mean, because the flip side of Bregnon just went to the Jaguars. Okay, that's one guy off our board that we could have been looking at. No, get out of here with this. If anything, Mason, with the Drew Allar stuff, Mason Rudolph is on the hot seat now. Definitely on the hot seat. This could be one of those Landry Jones situations. We got two young quarterbacks in their first or second year. Because we didn't draft Mason and Dobbs the same year. I think they were in consecutive years. One of them was 2 years into the league. The other one was a rookie. Was it Mason 2 years in the league, Dobbs a rookie, and Landry was on the roster for like 5 or 6 years? And I guess Dobbs and Rudolph played good enough in training camp, played good enough in the preseason to where they said, yeah, this is close enough. Let's save money and see what these guys' long-term potential could be. We could actually give them some reps. Landry Jones, his ceiling's tapped out. We know what he is. He's not going to be anything better than a backup. And if we think Mason Rudolph and Josh Dobbs, their game is close enough to Landry Jones, then let's just move on. Could be the same case with Mason Rudolph, with Drew Allar and Will Howard. Dude, I'm telling you, that's tough to say, man. That's Drew Allar, Will Howard. Will Howard, Drew Allar. It's just tough saying those names together like that. Okay, I'm going to drink some water, and then I might start slugging some beers or something, man. I was not planning on going live. I was not planning on drinking. Real dehydrated. Oh, man. How's everyone doing tonight? Thanks for stopping through. Appreciate the super chats. Appreciate just the time. Appreciate everyone stopping through, man. Commenting, engaging. Anything else on the Drew Allar stuff? Any other angles? Yeah, I think Mason Rudolph's on the hot seat for sure. He's competition for Will Howard. Not only for this year, as in hierarchy on the depth chart, but also to be future QB1. That's really about it. I mean, the rep on Drew Allar, talented, big arm. Not awful. We can't say he was awful in college. Won games. The stats are there to where, like, yeah, there's a reason we're talking about drafting him in the third round. There's a reason why people think he can maybe make the transition to the pros. But there are hiccups. There are concerns. There are things to note whenever he would play against Ohio State, whenever he would play in some big games, wouldn't be at his best. Now, probably some of the Drew Allar truthers will point to Penn State not really surrounding him with the best of weapons on offense, not really having the best offensive philosophy, structure, any of that shit. So, who knows, man? Who knows? Now he's got McCarthy. And if anything, McCarthy knows quarterbacks. McCarthy knows offense. He's got like a 30-year track record of that, whether you're talking as a quarterback coach, offensive coordinator, and head coach. I understand the pick. I'm not going to hate on the pick. I'm not complaining about the pick. Throwing darts at a dartboard at the quarterback position, trying to figure it out, trying to gain some clarity for the future. I think that's a good competition too, man. Penn State, Ohio State, Howard, Allar. I mean, they competed 2 seasons ago whenever they were both in college. We know who got the upper hand in that. We'll see what it's like in Steeler uniforms now. It's going to be fun. It makes for a much more interesting offseason, rest of the offseason, training camp, and preseason this year, but also for 2027 and beyond. There's no doubt about it. Now, I do want to get back to why I think Aaron Rodgers is definitely going to be a Pittsburgh Steeler. There was something that came across my feed today. I'm gonna read this comment first though. Like, Rodgers is coming back. Like, it's actually what I heard was actually I don't want to say insane. It was just like, oh yeah, I see why Rodgers is taking his time. This may not actually all be on Aaron Rodgers as to why he's not signed with the Steelers. It might be the Steelers and Mike McCarthy telling him to stay away. Oh wow, it's cleared out down there, bro. That's interesting. It didn't even look like packed down by like Tequila Cowboy or the bars or anything. That's really interesting. Pete the Penguins Ghost. Deke, which do you think is more probable? Rodgers comes back and we release Mason, or Rodgers doesn't come back and it's between Howard, Allar, and Mason, the backup? Rodgers comes back and we release Mason. That's what I think is more likely. And I think I kind of just have alluded to that in my, recent like 2-3 minute spiel about not only do I think Rodgers is coming back, but I think Mason is going to be on the hot seat with Allar and Howard being here. But anyway, back to Rodgers and why I think he's coming back. Mike McCarthy went on Rich Eisen show. I believe it was today. At least I saw the clip today. And he asked McCarthy the obligatory Aaron Rodgers question. Like, what's going on with Aaron Rodgers? What do you know? What can you tell me? And McCarthy just nonchalantly sneaks into his answer that he prefers Aaron Rodgers not even being around at this point in the offseason with us having some of these younger quarterbacks. He wants them to be getting the reps as opposed to Aaron Rodgers getting them. And, he feels like it's borderline a waste of time for Rodgers to be there because of how much experience and the veteran status that Rodgers has thus far in this league. So it literally might be McCarthy and the Steelers organization saying, like, until it's mandatory, like, bro, don't even worry about showing. Like, we don't care. Enjoy your off season. Enjoy time with the wife. Go on vacation. We know you don't need this. If anything, it's better for you to stay away because we're going to be getting Will Howard and now Drew Allar, Mason Rudolph, more reps that they probably need to learn my system with McCarthy being a new coach here and us moving off of Mike Tomlin. Yeah, Rodgers is coming here, man. And he also said again, I'm in consistent, constant, good communication with Rodgers. We talk all the time. Yeah, Rodgers will be here. When it starts becoming mandatory, I think Rodgers will be here. It's a win-win for everyone. Rodgers not signing. Rodgers doesn't have to worry about headlines or, bad teammate talk. Man, he's not out there for some of the. He signed with the team. He said he's back with the Steelers, but he's not out there for voluntary OTAs and some of this team stuff. You have a bunch of the other veterans there for Mike McCarthy's first offseason as a Steelers head coach. Where's Aaron Rodgers? I thought Aaron Rodgers and Mike McCarthy were boys. Like, what's going on? He signed. Why isn't he there? I know it's voluntary, but as a quarterback, you need to represent yourself and the team properly and be a leader. He doesn't have to worry about any of that because he's still a free agent, not signed. So it's a win for him. It's a win for McCarthy because he gets some of these other quarterbacks reps and he knows he doesn't have to worry about Rodgers knowing the system or knowing what the hell he's doing playing the quarterback position. And who else is it a win for? It's a win for Will Howard. It's a win for Drew Allar. It's a win for Mason Rudolph. They get reps. Wins all around for Rodgers not signing. Win for me too in the business of talking Steelers because every report that pops up about what's Rodgers going to do, new update on Rodgers' decision, I get to talk about it. And Aaron Rodgers is good for business. He brings in the viewership. People want to hear about Aaron Rodgers. Bobby, who do you want to see the Steelers take next? Let me see who's available. Let me see who's available, my friend. Kyle Lewis, I wouldn't mind. Any of these guards stand out to you? Shrouth from Notre Dame wouldn't be bad. I think Farmer from Kentucky wouldn't be bad. They have Brian Parker, the second rated the highest from Duke. Jennings Dunker. I would say Jennings Dunker will be my number one offensive line pick though. He's still listed as offensive tackle in the database. Skylar Bell, Dunker. Skylar Bell, Dunker, Kyle Lewis. Those would be my top 3. What about you guys? Let me see, though. Should we just take McCoy? What about McCoy? Some safeties. Kilgore from South Carolina wouldn't be bad. I want another receiver. I would want Bell. Bell would probably be my number 1. Keep the receiver wave going. We got Bernard. Get Bell. I don't think we got to worry about receiver the rest of the draft. Then you could lock in on getting some offensive linemen in the 4th and beyond. Tony Dorsett rocking the Pitt hat. It's badass. Gotta love that. A lot of Pitt representation coming up on stage. Saw James Conner earlier. Jimbo Covert was up there. Someone yelled "Hail to Pitt." Was it a Cardinals guy or a Washington Commanders guy? That is a great name. There's some dope-ass names in this draft. Steelers visited with that one cornerback from Washington. His name is Ephesians Prysock. Hell of a name, bro. Hell of a name. I don't even know. Jennings Dunker is a great name, too. Jennings Dunker. Kilgore is an awesome last name. Some of you guys want us to draft Kilgore in the chat. McCoy. I mean, we just took Everett, bro. Like, and we have JPJ, we got Dean, we got Eccles, Asante Samuel Jr. just resigned. That would be overkill. That would absolutely be overkill. But for a guy that is a first-round talent, I know injury concerns. Yeah, I wouldn't mind a flyer. Mad Chad's back in the building. Where are you watching it from, bro? Are you back? You just back at the crib? I hope you had fun. Yeah, I was a little hungover this morning, too. Not bad. I don't feel, because usually, I don't know about you guys. Usually, like if you're hungover, like that thing's hitting you for like the whole day. Maybe. Well, I'm getting up there, so maybe for some of you guys, your hangovers are done by noon. But like, there's some hangover. I drank a decent amount. Now I did pace it out, but I had the liquor. I mixed a bunch of things, but I don't know. I was off the hangover. Probably by like just middle of the day today. What the hell did I do today? Oh, I got my hair cut. You guys probably can't even tell. I got my hair cut. I had to go get my hair cut. I think that knocked the hangover out of me. Got the haircut. I had to do a video for Bleach Report. Posted some stuff on YouTube. Then just watched the draft and reacted to Jeremy Bernard. And now I'm live because we picked Drew Allar. Like, I think that was going live worthy. I wasn't planning on going live for the 3rd round. Was maybe just going to react pick by pick or do a video at the end of the 3rd round, just recapping all of it. But had to do it. Had to hop on the live. The vibes are there. Richard Arbizo, huge value for a flexible lineman. Logan Taylor. TM? What do you mean TM? Like for tomorrow? Yeah, where's he ranked at? I told you guys, my draft prep hasn't been the best this year. Hasn't been the greatest. I don't even see this dude on the list. Oh, maybe you're talking about guard. Where's he at, bro? I don't even see him. This is really a diamond in the rough. Oh, I see him. Logan Taylor. They got him from Boston College. Okay. Yeah. Rams might snag Bell. Yeah, I wouldn't blame them. They bypassed receiver in the 1st round. They could have had like Mekhi Lemon, but instead they went Ty Simpson. Did you guys see McVay? I think he's pissed, bro. They're saying him and the GM are lockstep together. Him and the GM are on the same page. I don't think so. But maybe it's McVay being as shrewd as he can with it and putting a front in the media that he's not happy about the pick, but he's secretly happy. But it's like he wants to play the pick down or play his excitement down to show Stafford, to make it seem to Stafford that, man, Stafford, you're still my guy. I never really wanted this pick to happen. Like, he's got to toe the line. Ty Simpson with the corny ass answer of like, Coach, we're gonna make history. He's like, yeah, no, like, you just focus on work, man. What pack you smoking on? Yeah. Have we done enough to be on a draft pack? Have we done? I mean, we're trending in the right direction. Omar Khan is really redeeming this shit, it feels like. Who should be our next pick? I keep getting asked this question. Skylar Bell. Skylar Bell would be my next pick. I would go Skylar Bell. Skylar Bell, Jennings Dunker, Kyle Lewis. Those would be my top 3. McCoy, if you're really getting fancy, if you really want to go luxury. Steelers just traded up. Is this true? You want Lewis? You spelled Lewis wrong. I won't hold it against you, though. You spelled Lewis wrong, too. That's one way to spell Lewis, just not Kyle Lewis's way of spelling Lewis. If we trade it up, we're grabbing Skylar Bell. Just get another receiver. He's good, too, man. Skylar Bell's good. I don't know why he's slipping this far. Skylar Bell would be a dope pick. Now, I don't think he has too much return experience, which is a bummer, but he looks like he could be a return man. He looks like he could be a kick return man or punt return guy for you. I don't know how that transition typically works. I feel like usually if you're a return man in college, that's something they look at for you in the pros. Like, how often do you take guys that weren't returning in college and make them return men in the pros? We tried with Caleb Johnson. We see how that worked out. Broadcast doesn't say trade up yet. Yeah, mine doesn't. I'm happy that I found the headphones, tried using them at the beginning of the show, and realized that, yeah, I can't do this with the headphones. It's way too distracting. Who did we trade up with? Is it New England? Because Dolphins picks in right now. I don't feel like I missed out on anything yesterday by not having the headphones. Chris Bell to Miami. So one Bell is gone. Gave up pick 99 to 96 to Seattle. How you guys finding this information? We do got a lot of insiders in the building. $96 and $216 for Seattle spot. So this is an answer to some of your guys' questions about us holding all of our picks. So this is another pick we're losing. So now we're going to have, a total of 10 picks when it's all said and done? Because we lost our last 4th-round pick in the trade up for Bernard, and then we just lost this 216. Is that a 7th round? I don't really know off the top of my head. Probably 7th. If we're only moving up a few picks late in the 3rd round, it's probably just a 7th-round pick. So it's 2 picks off the board. Dude, low-key, Dolphins draft's pretty good. I kind of like their draft. Those first 3 picks are pretty nice. Proctor, Johnson, and then Rodriguez. Browns, unfortunately, are having a decent draft. Bell or McCoy? Okay. Dunker. Who did the Patriots take? Did Patriots take any of these guys we want? Bud Light or Mick Ultra? You make the call. I only got Bud Lights on me, man. That's all I got. I don't got Mick Ultras. Surprised people showed up. I thought I was done. I thought I was canceled after yesterday. I thought my career was over. But I guess, yeah, people are still tuning in. All right. I think I've got over to canceling. I think I've made it past it. I do like the Jets draft too. You're right. Jets having low-key a pretty nice draft. Cooper took Bailey at number 2. They got Sadiq. What was their second and third rounders? Let me see. What the hell? They didn't take a quarterback yet, did they? Or Beck went to the Cardinals. We got Allar. All right, so they just took a tight end from Notre Dame. The Patriots did. Wasn't really on our radar. We still low-key do need that third tight end. What's going to happen? We're just going to sign freaking there's like 2 former Packers that are out there. One of them is Mercedes Lewis. We're just either going to sign Mercedes Lewis or who is the other guy? It's not Rodgers. Wasn't there a tight end named Rodgers that played with Aaron Rodgers back in Green Bay? There's another tight end though. Like a tight end 2 with the Packers that's out there in free agency. I can't remember off the top of my head. Jets draft. All right, Steelers pick is about to be in here. They got D'Angelo Pons out of Indiana in the second round. I don't really know too much about him, but their first 3 picks were pretty nice, I'd say. Our draft's looking pretty good. I like our draft. Let's see what we do here. Cam Hayward with the zip collared shirt. That's not bad. Not a bad style choice. All right, bro, let's make the pick. Cam's hyping up the crowd right now. I think we're going to be able to smoke this draft pack. Just took Jennings Dunker out of Iowa. Inside, outside flexibility. He's going to compete to be our starting left guard day 1. We're bolstering up this O-line. We got our receiver and Jeremy Bernard. Got a QB in the building. Some competition with Will Howard. Steal of drafting Donn Everett where we did. Blazing 40 time coming out of Georgia. Played some big time football in the SEC at Georgia. Primetime player. Project, highly talented. Tackle, Max Ijanador out of Arizona State in the first round. I'm almost seeing the vision now. I'm almost seeing it's almost a good thing we didn't take Mekhi Lemon. It's starting to feel like, no. Holy hell. Yeah, I mean, this is Pittsburgh. Like this pick is just flat out right fucking Pittsburgh too. You're right with the mullet, the stash. Lineman from Iowa. Yeah, makes sense. Already rocking the black and gold. Just makes 100% sense. I still want another receiver. Maybe I'm getting a little greedy. I don't know, but can we get Skylar Bell, please? The third round's about to be over. But can we trade up into the fourth? Can Omar Khan make one more little move here? We don't got to worry about safety. We don't got to worry about the third tight end. As I said, we'll sign Mercedes Lewis, or we'll sign one of Rodgers' old buddies from the Packers. I can't remember the dude's name. Did anyone mention him in the comments? There's one dude that's out there. Z3 Music Official says, I called it. Good call, man. I think we all kind of called it. I think we all had Jennings Dunker like top 3-ish in the pick we wanted the Steelers to make there at 96 after we traded up. I like Omar Khan being a little aggressive here. Listen. Oh, we can still got Kyle Lewis too, man. We could still make a Kyle Lewis pick. Kyle Lewis. I like Perkins though too. If we passed on Kyle Lewis, I would like to get Perkins. One of those two guys. One of those two athletic inside linebackers. So my to-do list from here on out would be Skylar Bell, Perkins. I mean, if we want to do the whole McCoy thing, fuck it, why not? First round talent, slipping to this late in the draft. Injury concerns. At this point, it's worth the risk. Outside of that, I mean, Surratt's a decent name left in the receiver room. I like Jeff Caldwell in terms of high upside out of Cincinnati. I've mentioned him multiple times in some of my mock drafts. But I don't know if you got to mess with him until like the 5th round. We still got, how early is our 4th round pick? I think is it in the middle? It's 21. It's our normal 4th round pick. We traded 135, which was, I guess, a compensatory pick late in the 4th. So we got the 21st pick in the 4th round, 121. I think we only have one 5th round pick. Yep. I'm just trying to think of what we could package up to move up in the 4th to keep this same energy that we've got going of trading up and making sure we get the guys that we want. And as I was trying to say there, I got a little sidetracked. Omar Khan, I've sung his praises throughout his first 3 years as a GM. Like, obviously, he knows what the fuck he's doing. He's made some big-time moves throughout his tenure here. But he's still young in the game as the main GM. Like, he's still a little bit young in the game. I think, Howie Roseman's been around the block. I think yesterday was a little learning lesson for him. I really think it was. Because what good is having these 12 picks if you're going to miss out on some of the guys that you really want? Is it really worth sitting back and the guy that you want maybe is like 5 picks away? Is it worth sitting back and waiting to see if they fall to you? Taking on that risk versus, all right, we got these extra picks. We really want this guy. Yeah, let's package something up and move up. Make sure we get Mekhi Lemon, even though obviously that didn't happen. But we could have. Didn't make the same mistake today with Jeremy Bernard with Jennings Dunker. Yeah, the fact that Dunker slipped this late in the 3rd. Steele, Everett, Steele. Drew Allar, I guess that's around where people were mocking him too. Bernard, that was around the same area. He was getting mocked too. But we traded, again, just the fact that we traded up, made sure we got him. Savvy move by the con artist. Savvy move. And then Maxi Jonador. I pronounce his name. Jonador. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, some people say he was a top 15 pick. Some people rank him as like the 40th prospect in this draft. It's kind of like all over the place. I don't think there's a doubt about his potential and the raw ability that he has and the fact that he's only played football for a little bit. There's still some meat left on the bone there with him. And now it's just up to the Steelers, the coaching, and also up to the player to get that thing to full fruition. And it just probably ain't happening all like that in his rookie year. The pick, you can still debate the pick. Like, I could wake up today, I slept on it, kick the alcohol out the system, kick the hangover out the system, did a little research on him, heard him talk at his press conference. Like, I like the pick. It's still a questionable pick. Like, I like him. I actually feel bad for him a little bit with how we reacted to the pick, how the majority of Steeler Nation reacted, and how much we're shitting on, not necessarily him, but just like the pick. We're shitting on Khan. We're shitting on the Steelers. I feel bad for him a little bit. Like, it's nothing against him. It's just that we wanted Makai Lemon. We wanted a receiver. And we felt like how the Steelers handled the whole first round thing, it was a botch job. It was not only were we asleep at the wheel with the Makai Lemon trade up stuff and the Eagles swooped in there, but also whenever it got to our pick, we may have panicked. But it depends on what you want to believe. It felt like in the moment we might have panicked. We saw the draft room and how everyone, like, you saw the draft room today with the picks, right? You saw the draft room and how everyone reacted to Bernard and all these other, everyone's like smile, like going crazy, like, hell yeah, hell yeah. Whenever we made that Max pick in the first round, dude, everyone was just like, we just have to clap for the camera so this don't look bad. So I'm sorry if in the moment it felt like we panicked. Not only did we fall asleep on trading up and making sure we got Makai Lemon, but when it got to our pick and Makai Lemon was gone, yeah, it felt like we just took a guy. But then if you want to believe what Bill Cowher was saying, if you want to believe what, was it Bill Cowher? McAfee, I think, too. There was like 2 or 3 big name people associated with Pittsburgh somehow, some way, that said McCarthy, Steelers brass were pumping up Maxi Jonador all of Thursday throughout the day, saying we hope he's available at our pick. We really like this guy. We really believe in him. It just so happened that Makai Lemon and him were in our range. And if push came to shove and Makai Lemon was there at 21, we would have went 11, clearly. But maybe we did really like Max to the degree where we felt like we don't have to trade up for Lemon. We could sit here. We'll take whoever's available. And maybe we don't feel like the difference between Lemon and some of these other receivers is that great that we have to trade up. We'll take whoever's available between Lemon and Max. And then we'll do the opposite in the second round. If we go offensive tackle, we'll do receiver second round. If we go receiver, we'll go offensive tackle, offensive line, whatever it is in the second round. Right? But I think it's all working out. McCarthy said in that same interview that I was talking about with Rich Eisen, because he was not only asked about Rodgers and Rodgers' decision and, you know, what's going on with that. He was also asked about, hey, like, you can't really hide from this. Everyone knows that you were on the phone with Makai Lemon. And then the Eagles sniped you, traded up to get him, and, you know, you were left empty-handed. Like, what all happened with that, man? Like, how do you go about that? What's your thought process? What's your reaction? He said, you know, God works in mysterious ways. Sometimes it's just like a ball don't lie. It'll all work out the way it's supposed to. Makai Lemon, he'll probably do good things for the Eagles. And we really like Max. Like, we're not fretting about missing out on Makai Lemon. You saying like a pick thing at the bottom? That would be tough. How do I get that? I don't know how to. Yeah, maybe I need to work on my producing skills. That would be tough. That would be real tough. Maybe I'll look into it tonight. I don't know if I'm going live tomorrow because the draft starts tomorrow, at noon? I don't know if I'm going live at all tomorrow. Maybe in the middle of it. Who knows? I don't think I'm making it down to the draft. I'll be honest. I don't really have much FOMO. I don't. Does anyone? I don't really feel like I'm missing out. Maybe I'll stop down later in the day. I don't know. I don't feel like I need to be down there just from watching it from TV. What is this? Somebody in Pitt leaked it to Dallas that we were on the phone with Lemon. I thought it was like they were trying to call and his phone was busy. Well, yeah, some sort of like more detailed information would have had to have gotten to Dallas somehow, some way. Because if they're trying to call Lemon and his phone's busy, they don't know he's on the phone with the Steelers necessarily from that. So what? Yeah, how did they know he was on the phone with us? Nah, bro. This is ended up being a good draft. I like this draft right now. I do. I want one more receiver. Maybe it's a me thing with the whole receiver shit and how I keep talking about. Can we just one more receiver, please? Can we put me at ease? Is it a me thing? Are you guys in the same boat as me? I am literally scarred from these last 2-3 seasons. I am so sick. You could hear it in my voice, right? You could hear it. So sick of this offense looking stagnant and receivers not getting open and us feeling like we got a 2005 offense out here trying to compete with offenses that are up to speed in 2026 and that have quarterbacks with a lot of horsepower and firepower and play at an elite level. Like we're so behind the 8 ball when you're talking about offense and quarterback and being innovative. But with Tomlin, we've grinded these seasons out, man. We've grinded out being non-losing season champs. Definitely grinded it out. 9-8, 10-7, somehow, some way. No matter how ugly some of these wins are, no matter how inconsistent we are, we do find ways. But I'm getting sick of just finding ways. I want some sustainability. I want some consistency. I want something that we can actually hang our hat on. Like when we go into the playoffs or when we go into big games, I don't want to do pregame shows. I don't want to preview the games and say, I don't know what the fuck's going to happen. I'm kind of getting sick of that. Like, yeah, our defense looked really good these last 2 games, but let's not forget what it looked like the 3 games prior to that. It looked like shit, but now we're starting to hit our shot. I don't know what to expect. Same thing with the offense. Like that's literally the conversation you could have with these Steeler teams over the last 2-3, almost maybe even further back than that, maybe like 5 seasons. I think more so the last like 2 or 3 seasons. The defense has gotten worse. We've invested more in the defense. We've brought in bigger names, but the defense has gotten worse. Like the defense in like Kenny's rookie year, like actually was decent at times. It was pretty good at times. Minka was still in his prime, TJ in his prime. But it's actually crazy how our defense became like, what were we, probably like bottom 10 last year overall. I'd say the last month of the season that we were picking it up, we felt like a top 10 defense. Yeah, let's get back to the Drew Allar, Will Howard conversation, or just the Drew Allar pick in general. It's going to be fun. It's going to be interesting, man. It's going to be interesting. Who you got? Ohio State versus Penn State. Will Howard's got the ring. Will Howard's got the hardware. Will Howard's got the wins. Drew Allar, I guess he's got the more prototypical physical things NFL scouts look for whenever you're making the transition from college to the pros with the arm strength and whatnot. But just playing the quarterback position, just winning ball, just being a leader, being a foxhole guy. And this ain't even like a knock on Howard. I'm just spitting facts. I'm just spitting truth. This is literally what we've seen take place in both of their careers at the college level. This isn't being too hard on Allar. This isn't being too critical. This is just calling it like it is. Yeah, I feel like he can make a ton of, like, he does have the arm talent. He does have the arm strength. I don't think he's got the best footwork. I don't think he's the best in the pocket. And I don't think when the pressure is on and it's late in these games and it's big games, he's facing off against some big defenses, he's at his best. That's kind of a big deal. It's almost like I was gonna say it's almost like Kirk Cousins with a bigger arm, but that would actually be disrespectful to Kirk Cousins, because I will say Kirk Cousins has had better clutch moments as his career has gone on. Just not fully to the extent you would want, given how much you're paying Kirk Cousins to be your franchise quarterback. But low key, he had some decent moments in Minnesota where he like that one season, didn't he have like 6 or 7 fourth quarter drives or game winning drives or something like that? But then in the playoffs, it's 4th down and 5, 4th down and 6, and he throws a check down. But yeah, I just think it'll be fun to see play out. My money's on Howard, though. I don't know about you guys. Because Drew Allar, like Kenny Pickett, Kenny Pickett coming from Pitt, Allar, Penn State, Pittsburgh, Western PA, type of connections. Because even though Penn State is Central PA, there's a lot of Penn State people, a lot of Penn State fans in the Western PA, in the Pittsburgh area. So it's like I don't know what Penn State fans' vibes are on Allar, though. It seems like they don't actually really like him. Like, I don't think Penn State fans really wanted us to draft him. Like with Pickett, like with me and Pickett, like I was fine with us drafting him. Completely, completely cool with it. It's not like I didn't want us to draft him by any means. But I think there's Penn State people that think the Steelers taking Allar is a waste of time. And that's not good. Like, that's not a good thing. They're the ones that are watching him game in and game out at the college level. So I'm just interested, how does the fan base shift with their quarterback support? Because I think overwhelmingly it's been for Will Howard. It's been positive for Will Howard. But now that Drew Allar's here, do some of those Will Howard people like flip over to Drew Allar, or does it not matter because Penn State people didn't even want Drew Allar anyway? They want to stick with Will Howard. They seen Will Howard beat Drew Allar at college. And it's just like, yeah, that's college. I don't really care about any allegiance that I have to Drew Allar because of me being a Penn State fan. I just want a winner at the pro level, and I think that's going to be Will Howard. Wow. Okay, we got some Allar people. Yes, I said this earlier. Mason is going to be on the hot seat, I feel like. Howard fanboys cheering right now. This isn't going to be a competition. You think that's what it was? After Marino, the Steelers had to draft Pickett. You think that's actually what it was? I've seen some reports. I've seen some headlines pop up about that. Like it was just an emotional pick because of the Marino mess from back in the day. I don't know. I don't know about that. I don't think that's all that went into it. You could easily make the argument Kenny Pickett was the best quarterback coming out in that draft class. He was the most pro-ready. Malik Willis had the more upside. Who else was even in that draft? I guess Brock Purdy was in that draft. No one was really talking about him. Return to find. Allar in big games was non-existent outside of arm strength. He has a lot of gaps in being able to read defense and make throws. Yeah, not good. Not good. And that's my thing. No one's saying that shit about Will Howard. Yeah, Will Howard went in the 6th round. Allar somehow goes in the 3rd round. Like, what was the knock against Will Howard coming out of Ohio State with that final season that he had? I see him make big throws. I see him being capable of making every throw on the football field. Does he have the greatest of arm strength? Does he have as big of an arm as Drew Allar? Nah, I guess not, but it's suffice enough. I think it's on like a Joe Burrow type of level. Like, I don't think Joe Burrow has the greatest arm of all time. And that was one of the knocks on him coming out. People compared him to like Tony Romo. Like, Tony Romo isn't firing the ball like 70, 75 yards down the field. Quick release, though. Knew how to play the fucking quarterback position. Like, sometimes arm strength ain't the be-all, end-all. It's a nice thing to have, though. I mean, I got to witness Big Ben be our quarterback for like 18, 19 years. So it's like, I think we were spoiled with having a franchise quarterback that also had like extreme talent and natural ability. But think of Brock Purdy. He's like a top 10, top 15 quarterback. Baker Mayfield, I was just going to say, Baker Mayfield, he's a little smaller in stature. He actually got a decent arm. He's got a decent arm. He can let it loose. He can let it rip. Who would we consider like a top 10 quarterback? Lamar's got a good arm. Lamar could let it fly. Burrow, yeah, Burrow. I think Burrow's got a good arm though. He does. Like I'm not saying he's got an average arm. I'd say it's like above average arm in terms of like velocity and just being able to like uncork one. Rodgers, really good arm. Mahomes, Allen, Herbert, Jordan Love, Caleb Williams. Yeah, actually, I mean, the majority of these guys we're talking about being in like the top 10-ish. Good arms, cannons. But yeah, I think Brock Purdy's borderline top 10, like top 15, right? No one's saying he's on any of those other guys' levels in terms of arm strength. Danny Dimes, yeah, he's good. I mean, there's a reason he was taken like 6 overall. He could throw it. Goff's a good one. Actually, Goff's a really good one. Yeah, Goff's a good one because he's probably top 15. Dak's a good one too, top 15. Kirk Cousins, but again, what was I just saying about Kirk Cousins and guys like him, guys like Dak? But listen, we saw Sam Darnold win a Super Bowl, so maybe it is possible with someone like Dak. Not with that contract though. That's the benefit to Sam Darnold that no one talks about. He's like a top 15 quarterback, but he's getting paid what he should be getting paid. He's getting paid like $30 million. They can still build a good team around him. They can still have receivers, weapons around him because of his contract. Dak's like top 15, but he's getting paid higher than Mahomes. He's supposed to be carrying a team, but he's not capable of carrying a team like Mahomes. Even some of the greats, even some of the elite ones can't. Sometimes weird seasons happen. You saw it with the Chiefs last year. Like Mahomes, sometimes you can only do so much. Like even Brady needed help. We talked about that with him at his late stages with the Patriots. They had to boot AB out of New England. I think Josh Gordon got in trouble. Like they lost a lot of weapons. It was basically like Edelman and just some no-names out there. They lost Gronk. And they got bounced in the first round of the play. Like they looked terrible the second half of Brady's last season in New England. And everyone was thinking like Brady was washed. And then he goes to Tampa, had some surroundings, and then you see what happens. So, like, even the greats, man, even the greats need some help sometimes. So if the greats need help, and sometimes need a roster, like they can't just do it all, then you can't be paying Dak $60 million and be expecting him to work miracles for you. And it's hard to build out a team. It's hard to build out good surroundings when Dak is getting paid $60 million. So the Cowboys are just in a tough spot with that contract. But I mean, they got Pickens, they got CeeDee Lamb. Their defense is kind of shit. No more Michael Parsons. They're trying to rebuild. Luke Wilcox, 541. I think front offices are scared of the OSU QB curse. I can't think of a quarterback that came out of the Ohio State system in the last decade and excelled in the NFL. Yeah, because you're seeing Stroud right now. You thought he was the outlier to the curse, but now he's starting to trend back into the curse these last couple of years. He's starting to look really average out here. Texans are winning in spite of him as opposed to because of him. His rookie year, different story. Rookie year was awesome, but he's trending in the wrong direction. Ohio State curse. Fields, Stroud, who else? Cardale Jones. That was a name out of left field, huh? He should have just came out after that playoff run whenever they won the championship. He just should have came out. He would have been a top 5 pick. He goes back to school, and then they do the weird trio quarterback things between him and JT Barrett and Braxton. I can't remember the 3 quarterbacks exactly, but they tried rotating him, and then his stock went down. He was drafted by the Chargers. Was it the 3rd round? It was either the 3rd or the 5th round. I don't know why those 2 rounds are coming to mind. But, man, he missed a huge opportunity there. Huge opportunity. Would have been like Jamarcus Russell. Like, Jamarcus Russell went – I actually think – didn't he play – he actually played good his last year at LSU. It was either that or his bowl game. He like went off. And then he had number 1 overall pick in 07. Where we at on Drew Allar, Will Howard? Dude, I'm telling you, it's a struggle to say. I've been trying to say both their names in like the same sentence in the same sequence. It's a little tough. A little tough. Oh, Haskins. Yeah. Yeah. Dwayne Haskins, rest in peace. Haskins, one of them. Am I missing someone? It's just funny. Already transitioning Allar to fullback or tight end. This is not a bad draft at all. This is actually a really good draft right now. I like this draft. I would give us, as we sit here right now, if the draft ended right now, this is like B+, A-. This is a good draft. Would I personally do some things differently? Yeah, I don't think I'm taking Allar. I'd rather take a receiver there. Take Kyle Lewis. Take a guy that, well, I was going to say, take a guy that can actually help us for this year. But yeah, you could argue Kyle Lewis is one of those guys that he's not going to get many snaps because of the guys that would be ahead of him on the linebacker depth chart. Receiver, though, for sure. Receiver, definitely. Instead of Drew Allar, I would have maybe done. I forget who was available. Was Branch available there when we took Allar? You could have done Branch. Instantly, he's your starting return man. Competition with Roman Wilson for wide receiver 4. Electric with the ball in his hands. And you still could have taken Everett. You could have taken Dunker. But again, I'm not gonna knock us taking quarterback. I'm not gonna be against it at all. A lot of positives to it. I think just me personally, with Aaron Rodgers coming back, I don't think we needed to go that route. We already got Mason. We already got Will Howard. You got Rodgers. We could save a quarterback pick for next offseason. But it's fun. It makes things more interesting. Absolutely. In terms of, for my business, for media, for entertainment purposes, hell yeah. Yeah, good thing we brought in Drew Allar. Preseason's going to be electric. Training camp's going to be electric. Next year could be electric. Who knows if we draft one of the quarterbacks in the first round next year and you have a competition between, I was going to say Arch Manning. We're just not getting Arch Manning. Who could be a quarterback? Lenore Sellers, Allar, and Howard competition next year. Now, maybe I do have a concern with like a 3 quarterback competition. It's like you have so many reps to go around. But either way, you're throwing darts at a dartboard. You're going to see how Howard and Allar develop in real time in these practices and whatnot, and how they learn under Aaron Rodgers and how they are with their teammates. And you don't have to make that 2027 first-round draft pick decision right now. You can wait until the draft happens in 2027. But in the time between now and then, you get to evaluate Howard and Allar. And if you like both of them, if you're like, yeah, none of these quarterbacks in this 2027 class really stick out to us to the degree that we want to invest a first-round pick into them, we like how Allar and Howard look under Rodgers, what they're learning. They got, in Howard's case, 2 seasons under Rodgers. Allar, 1 season under Rodgers. Well, let's lean on that. Let's lean on that as opposed to just bringing in someone new. We can't be divvying up all these reps between 3 quarterbacks. We want to make it a real competition just between 2 guys. Ohio State versus Penn State. Howard versus Allar. Maybe that's how it all takes place in 2027. But either way, it's like we put ourselves in a good spot. We have flexibility. Because if the opposite happens, we do our evaluation with Howard and Allar. Maybe we're not really liking how Allar's developing. We're saying to ourselves, we just kind of view him as a backup. But Howard, maybe he could be a guy, but we want to see a little bit more. And we bring in the competition in this 2027 draft class by taking someone in the first or second round and have them be the main competition for Howard, right? You can wait and see. There's no real decisions that need to be made now, but At least you're taking swings. At least you're taking chances. At least you're investing in the quarterback position. Nothing wrong with that. And that's why I'm not going to complain about the pick. I'm not going to knock the pick at all. Personally, I wouldn't have minded Zachariah Branch there. And maybe Allar's still there with that second, third round pick. You do Branch, then you do Allar, but then we miss out on Everett. I like the Everett pick too. I like the Dunker pick. But those are the trade-offs you make whenever you draft for the future versus drafting a little bit for the moment, a little bit for the now. Everett is a future pick, though, too. That's the thing. we got I like this with Allar. There's polarization with Allar right now. We got people thinking hey, he's gonna be a fucking bum. He's trash, god awful, waste of a pick, and we got people that are like he's gonna be good. That's a concern with Allar for sure, and I don't know if that's something that just switches over when you get to the pros. Usually, when you're clutch in college, that translates to the pros in a way. And usually when you're not clutch, I don't remember moments. I don't really remember scenarios where someone's all of a sudden just got that killer instinct when they get to the pros. I feel like you almost just kind of have to have it. But who knows, man? Who knows? Maybe part of it is he wasn't taught too well at Penn State on how to play the quarterback position in the right way, in terms of footwork, in terms of mechanics, in terms of how to think the position. And that is something that can cost you in big moments when the pressure is on. You're not able to rely on like good muscle memory, good fundamentals, good tactics. And if McCarthy's able to switch that over, maybe that's the green light. Maybe that's the flip of the switch that Allar needs. So I'm not counting him out or anything. I'm not going to do that. We'll see what happens. I'm definitely not going to count him out. I don't have any like real ties to him and what he did in college. I'm not a Penn State guy. I'm a Pitt guy, man. Pitt's my team. I just go off what I'm seeing a little bit whenever I'm watching some of his games on TV, what I'm hearing from Penn State fans. And this is his rep. I'm not going to lie. It's kind of a big deal. Like, whenever we're talking about fourth quarters and winning and being there for your teammates when they need you, like, that is a big deal for the quarterback position. It is the single most important position in the league, most important position on your team, most important position on offense. And, like, that's just the natural thing that comes with like leadership, like being able to be the guy that your teammates can look to and count on. So, I'm like, trust me, I'm not poo-pooing those aspects that it seems like Drew Allar is lacking in, because it is a big deal. If anything, I have put overimportance on some of that shit when talking about quarterbacks throughout me talking ball. And just in general, my life as a football fan, all I talk about is you got to be an elite quarterback. You got to be able to come up clutch in fourth quarters and in playoff games. Because I got to see Big Ben do it for basically my whole football fanhood, and also see other quarterbacks around the league that are elite do it. And I just say to myself, that's what it takes to win Super. You gotta have quarterbacks like that. If you don't, you're wasting your time. But again, we see guys like, Jalen Hurts, Sam Darnold win Super Bowls these last couple of years. And I don't think anyone's necessarily categorizing them as like these elite, game-changing type of quarterbacks. Huge clutch gene, anything like that. I do think Jalen Hurts has proven time and time. Usually he does show up big in the playoffs. He doesn't shrink in the playoffs. But Sam Darnold, we could see he could be hit and miss at times. He did show up for the most part in the playoffs this year, though. Super Bowl, he wasn't like amazing. Didn't need to be, but kept the status quo. 0311 Grizzly. This draft is trash. Every pick, bring back Colbert. Come on, bro. Explain yourself here. This draft is trash. Every pick, bring back Colbert. It's a good pick. Kyle Brandt. What are you guys watching right now? I still haven't cracked the beer yet, which is a good thing, actually. Kyle Brandt on SVP. He's at literally at Permanis. That looks like, I don't know which Permanis that is, because there's two in the city. There's one in Market Square. There's one in the Strip District. I don't remember the Strip District having those neon light. I feel like, is that the Market Square one? That's got to be the Market. The Market Square one's closer to the North Shore. He's having a beer too. Oh, that's how you do it. I respect that. That's nice. He's on mainstream media. He's on ESPN. He's eating the Permani sandwich. He's got a dope-ass Pirates jacket on, like an old fucking throwback Jim Leland 90s Pirate jacket. It's pretty cool. And then you just see him out of the corner of the screen throwing back a beer bottle. That's dope. Talking ball, talking shop with SVP. That's what life's all about, right? That's what being in America is all about, right there. What I'm witnessing. I don't know what the hell he's saying. I don't got my headphones in, but who cares? I want you to explain yourself. Why anyone that thinks this draft sucks, let me know in the comments. I like this draft. I didn't like the first round pick. But I'm starting to see the vision. I'm starting to see how this thing is getting woven together. Got our receiver in round 2. Got a quarterback. Good competition for Howard. High upside with Drew Allar being in the building now. Got a nice sleeper pick. Or I don't know about sleeper pick, but a nice little steal pick. And a dude with blazing fast speed at the cornerback position with Donn Everett. And then we trade up a couple picks. We get Dunker, who's going to be, has a chance to be day one starter at left guard, competing for left guard, but also is just awesome to have on the offensive line, point blank period, because of his flexibility of playing and starting at tackle at Iowa. Like, unreal. Absolutely unreal draft thus far. Unreal. Again, I'll go A-, but let's see how I want one more receiver. Maybe it is unreal. That was just like my natural description of it as I was breaking it down. That was my final summary. I just said unreal. Should I give it an A? Is it at least an A-? Let's get some more of these comments in here. No. I pray to God, no. Hannibal 001. If Simpson was there at 21, do Steelers pick him? No. And you know what? I take back, after looking back on like Ty Simpson's press conference, like his interviews, and then hearing how he was talking to Sean McVay, he's not a Steeler guy, man. He's like, I was saying that I may have been okay with us taking him in the second round. I'm happy we didn't. I'm happy it didn't even come to that scenario. And knowing what I know now, hindsight 2020, I just wouldn't have wanted to pick Ty Simpson, period. I do think there's a lot of aspects to his game that you like. I think he would have been, like Drew Allar, good competition for Will Howard. I wouldn't have, almost like what I'm saying with Will Howard, I wouldn't have knocked the pick if we took him in the second round. I'm just happy with how it all played out. No, I don't think we pick him at 21. I pray to God. All right, yeah, I really I pray to God we wouldn't have picked him. What else we want? Would be nice to get another receiver. I've been saying that, bro. I've been saying that. 4 years of trench players in the first round. That's enough. We need true talent. We need a CMC or Jamar Chase, CeeDee Lamb, Trey McBride. I know what you're saying there, man, and that's why. Not saying Mekhi Lemon's one of those dudes, but you really felt like he was going to be a surefire thing and just an awesome fit for our offense right now. And it's like, yeah, we're drafting a receiver with legitimate first round talent. When's the last time we drafted a receiver in the first round? It's been a bunch of second round receivers. Now, a lot of them have worked out. We do a good job of drafting receivers for the most part. Pickens, now Bernard. Actually, I saw a graphic earlier today. I saw a graphic on my feed. What is it? 5 second round receivers over the last 10 years. 7, 8 years, something like that. It's Bernard now, Juju, Pickens, Claypool, and James Washington. If you had to rank those second-round picks, those second-round receivers, how would you rank them? I'd probably go – you got to go Pickens 1, just based off ability, based off what he did on the field. You got to go Pickens 1. Juju 2, I think. And then are we going Bernard 3 already? Bernard 3 and then Claypool, then James Washington? I know we haven't even seen Bernard play yet, but I just got a feeling he'll be at least 3. Chance to definitely surpass Juju and Pickens, too. I think he has that type of ceiling. I don't think he has... AB's one of a kind. I was going to say, he doesn't have like AB type of ceiling. Who's other number 1 receivers that we've had here? It's AB, it's Hines. Yeah, like he honestly, he could give us Hines type of stuff. I wouldn't put that past him. 1,000 yards year in and year out, reliable target. Not as good of a blocking receiver as Hines, I would say, but above average at blocking. That's part of Bernard's MO. Yeah, and if he got to that level, I think you're definitely bypassing Pickens and Juju on that list. I'm already saying Bernard's going to be Hines Ward. I'm already saying Bernard's about to be an all-time Steelers receiver. We're getting a little too far ahead of myself. I just think that's like his ceiling in terms of like production impact on the team. Now, some of Hines' legacy is Super Bowl stuff, winning. And that's not all on Hines. Hines showed up in the playoffs, Super Bowl MVP. But you also need the team around you to be going on those runs, to be stepping up as well. And like that's something that's lacking with TJ Watt and Cam Hayward. Because we can't say we're not winning in the playoffs all because of TJ Watt or all because of Cam Hayward. It's like they need the surroundings to uplift them too. But I don't think anyone's going to knock either TJ Watt or Cam Hayward in their place in Steeler history. Now, it does get a knock when you compare them to dudes like James Harrison or guys that have won rings, unfortunately. But we know TJ Watt's still a Steelers all-time great. We still know Cam Hayward's a Steelers all-time great. Like, they're in that class of Hines Ward. You get what I mean? Even though they don't have the rings. Now, they all play different positions, so that makes it a little bit harder to compare those 3 guys amongst each other. But I think you guys get my point. I think you guys get where I'm coming from. I think Bernard's, he's got that capability, like Steelers Hall of Honor type of guy. Cold Steel 9. Who wins the division this year? No bias. Steelers. No bias. We won last year. So how's that bias? And it feels like, just like every offseason and how we've been talking about this team, it feels like we've upgraded on paper. Across the board. Defense looks better. Offense looks a hell of a lot better. You could argue upgraded coach. In terms of fresh start, we're shifting to offense. And if you want to throw Patrick Graham into the mix too, in terms of upgrading at coach, I think you could make that case as well over Terrell Austin. So why not us? We went 10-7 last year with lesser, you could say. Now we're upgrading pretty much across the board. And Boz should be better too. Boz had a weird year last year. I expect him to be better. Why didn't I go downtown? I'm here, bro. I'm here for you guys. That's why. I don't know. I did think I would have that itch to, man, I just gotta be down there to check it out. I just gotta be. I don't know. It doesn't look that appealing. It doesn't look like I'm missing out that much. I don't really have FOMO. Does anyone else feel that way? Bro, come on. What year? When's he starting? Are you making the claim that he beats out Will Howard? Because if Rodgers comes back, he's not starting this year. And I'm telling you right now, Aaron Rodgers is coming back. I already broke down Mike McCarthy's interview with Rich Eisen and the fact that Mike McCarthy is literally telling Aaron Rodgers to stay away right now. So that incentivizes Rodgers not to sign. Why would Rodgers sign if Mike McCarthy's saying, like, yeah, I'd actually prefer you really not to be here? If Rodgers signs and doesn't show up to some of this stuff, all it's going to be is potential negative. It's a lose-lose. People are going to be like, oh, bad teammate. Why isn't he there for McCarthy? Why isn't he there for a bunch of his teammates with the whole coaching change and trying to help them learn McCarthy's system? Like, he needs to be a leader. He needs to be better. It's lose-lose. So with him not signing, he's able to not have to answer any of those questions. He's still a free agent. He's potentially retiring, or he could potentially retire. Like, all options are on the table with him. He's not signed with the Steelers. He's not officially a Pittsburgh Steeler for 2026, so he doesn't have to do anything. So until he signs, it's like, yeah, it could just be murky. It could just be up in the air. Rodgers is still going through his offseason process, as opposed to him making the commitment and not showing up to some of these things, even though they're voluntary. You know how the conversation, you know how the media gets with some of this stuff. I don't think I would go there with that, though, right? Not me. I don't think I would be ripping on Rodgers for not showing up to some of this voluntary shit. I really don't. I don't think so. I don't think Ben did. Like, I don't think Ben did for like the second half of his career, right? Like doing the OTAs that just happened last. I don't think Ben was going to that shit. Was Rodgers even going to that shit in Green Bay? I think he was with the Jets. I think. Oh, no, it got weird with it. He went to go see the pyramids or something. I think that was late. That was like in June. It was a mandatory thing. And Saul was like, yeah, this wasn't excused. Wait, what did you say about Will Howard, Moggs, Allar? Can I do a questionnaire or something here? I would like to do some sort of poll. I don't see it in this software that I got. I don't think I can. Damn. I would like to just pose the question or pose the two options. Will Howard or Drew Allar, just to see how you guys answer. I think it would still be like 70-30 Will Howard. Yeah, that's where I'm at. I think the Steeler draft, like A-, B+. Yeah, just maybe make some comments then. I'm seeing Howard. So we're 100% Howard right now. Howard. I like this. Everyone type 1 for Howard, or just type Howard, or 2, or type Allar for Allar. Howard. Anyone besides Rodgers. So we're still we're actually at 100% Howard right now. Howard. We'll count this for Howard. You're giving the draft a B. Howard. It's been 100% Howard, and then we get 1 Allar here. So it's pretty much like the split's been 97% Howard, 3% Allar, I would say, based off my math and my calculations. We got 2 for Allar, couple more Howards over here. Yeah, bro. Nothing changes. This is still Billy Howard's town. This is still fucking Will Howard's team. And this is Will Howard's world. We're all just living. This is Will Howard's city. Dude hasn't even played it. All right, we got a little Allar wave there. That was 3 in a row. Wow, this one's a hot take. I don't even know if I agree with this. Howard's potential is better than Allar, in my opinion. It depends on what you mean by potential. If you add everything together, because there's a lot that comes with quarterback, then yes, I agree with you. But usually when people talk about potential, it's just raw talent. It's just literally like arm strength. But yes, Howard brings a lot of other stuff to the table. Like, you got to think of mental stuff. You got to think of big moment type of stuff. You got to think of leadership type of stuff. Just straight arm talent potential, Allar beats Howard, but so much other stuff comes down to the quarterback position. I think so much other stuff can be developed too. Reading defenses, process, footwork, like all that stuff can be developed. So we shouldn't, to your point, we shouldn't be knocking Howard's potential. But I could maybe see where you're coming from. I think the most basic way to talk about potential, though, and the most typical knee-jerk reaction way to dissect quarterback's potential is just raw arm strength, right? Size, arm strength, arm talent. That's usually just it. But there's more to, I think, potential than just that. Because Anthony Richardson, you want to talk about potential, you want to talk about upside. Anthony Richardson's got all that, but it's like, how is he as a leader? How is he with his footwork? How is he reading a defense? How is he with accuracy? There's certain things about accuracy too. Now, I think some of that stuff can be taught. I think some of that stuff is a little bit innate as well. Some people are just more accurate passers than others. Even if they improve, like, they're not going. So some people are just never going to reach Drew Brees levels of accuracy, Peyton Manning levels of accuracy. Yeah, this is what's really going to happen, but it's going to make for an interesting preseason. Training camp's going to be awesome. Training camp and all that shit. This is going to be fun. If anything, I said, maybe me personally, I wouldn't do the Drew Allar pick. I would take a receiver. I'd try to take a guy that actually is going to have impact on this team for this year. We're going to have 3 quarterbacks with Rodgers coming back. We don't got to stress about Allar. But it does make things more fun this offseason. Absolutely. So if anything for that, I like the pick, if anything. But I get the pick too. Like, there's good reason to make the pick with Drew Allar playing the quarterback position, which is the most important position in football, and the fact that we have some uncertainty for our future there, and Drew Allar does have talent. It's like, yeah, sure. Let's get him in here with McCarthy and see what can happen. Come on, bro. I think that's a good over-under, or just a good prop question. Does Drew Allar start one game for us in 2026? One game. Maybe you could say the same question about Will Howard. Would either of them start one game? It'd be more interesting. Because whoever wins the competition, there is a chance with Rodgers getting hurt. There actually is a chance. It'd be whoever wins the competition for backup. And do we keep Mason or not? Is Mason QB2? Where does he stand in all this? I think right now that would be an interesting prop. Drew Allar, starting games, 0.5. Over under. A lot of variables to consider right now. There might be some more clarity on it when we're sitting in early September. If Drew Allar's number 2 on the depth chart, you might have to bump that number up to a game and a half. Like, whoever's number 2, there's a decent chance you might start a game or two with Rodgers' age and potential injury. But that's who's going to be QB2 between Mason, Howard, and Allar. I don't know. Who's the front runner? Who would you guys have the front runner for QB2 right now? I think Howard. I think you would have to say Howard. We technically had him at QB1 for these OTAs, right? But then I'm seeing reports the next day that McCarthy poo-pooed that headline a little bit and was like, it was all evenly distributed between Howard and Rudolph. Like, it's not a big deal. What you talking about, bro? We just traded up. We traded up a little bit. Did you want bigger trade ups? We just traded up. We got our guys. Or are you still just butthurt over the first round scenario? If you're going to make big splashes, you're going to make big moves, that they have to happen in the first round to count. They just don't hit the same in the second round. They don't hit the same in the third round if you're doing the trade up, which I'm not knocking that concept at all. Completely. I think things are weighted a little bit heavier in the first round because it's the first round, but I think we can agree for the most part, this league is made from picks that are taken in the second round and beyond. There's more likelihood that your first round picks are going to pan out to be starters and staples for your franchise, sure, but majority of the league are guys that are drafted in these mid rounds, late rounds, and undrafted rookie free agents. But the stars, the main guys, majority are first round picks. A good portion of them are first round picks, at least. You take Jamar Chase in the first round, gonna work out for you. Micah Parsons, gonna work out for you. Justin Jefferson, gonna work out for you. Way better chances of getting a guy to be a franchise stable if you're taking him in the first round. I might have to do the whole unplug the computer thing again. I'm sorry, but I was almost fully charged too. I think I was at it. Fully charged might have been a stretch. I think I was over 50% whenever I hopped on, though. I think I was over 50%. But now we're down to like 10%, I think. And the vibes are high still. Like I'll keep going for a little bit. Maybe I'll go for, I don't know, till we hit 2 hours. We'll see. We reached for Allar. I think that was arranged for him. I think that was fine. What did I say, too, before the draft? After we had that meeting with Allar, the top 30 meeting in Pittsburgh, push came to shove. And we're talking about taking a quarterback in these mid rounds. It's probably going to be either Beck or Allar if you want to look at all the tea leaves, look at all the signs. We had high interest in both of them at the combine. I think we sent pro day representatives. I don't know who they were because Kahn and McCarthy only went to like one pro day or something like that. But we had pro day representatives at both their pro days. And then obviously they came in for the top 30 visit. Those were the only quarterbacks that hit all those checkpoints. All the other quarterbacks, it was like either we had them in for top 30, not as much interest at the combine, or there was interest at the combine and we didn't bring them in for top 30. I think Nussmeier was one of those guys, interest combine, not top 30, but we did try. I saw something from Kabuli maybe, or it might have been Dulac. We tried to bring in Nussmeier, but the scheduling didn't work out. I think the same thing happened with, I was reading today, or I saw a video today, David Bailey with the Jets. Like, he didn't think the Jets even liked him because he didn't even do a top 30 visit with them. It got canceled or rescheduled. It just never worked out. But he got drafted by the Jets. What's Kerry Collins got to do? Why are people bringing up Kerry Collins? Why are people bringing up Mitch? Okay, here we go. I like this. I'm liking some of the back and forth. Will Howard fans can shut up. He's not the future. I need to hear more comments like this because some of you guys hate this draft. I just want to hear your reasoning. Like, what's so wrong with this draft? Tyler Williams says, except Dunker, I think we missed on every pick based on the players still on the board. Okay, so you would pick different players. Who would you have rather taken in every scenario? Obviously, we understand the first round snafu. That's an obvious one. Just trade up for Mekhi Lemon. But even after that, maybe we take Omar Cooper. Dude, I'm low-key happy about the Bernard pick. I don't know if now all of a sudden I'm looking at it through black and gold lenses. He's in a Steeler uniform. But it's like, Bernard versus Cooper, Bernard versus Concepcion, Bernard versus Denzel Boston. Yeah, close enough. It's whatever. I like Bernard now. He's going to be in a McCarthy offense. Aaron Rodgers throwing him the ball. Doesn't have to be one of our top guys right away, can learn from DK, can learn from Pittman, has size, coming from a big program, Alabama. Feels like a Steeler receiver. Feels like the right fit. It just worked out. Like McCarthy said, whenever we missed out on Lemon, God works in mysterious ways. Sometimes God will just work his magic for you. It's just going to all work out. Paul don't lie. But yeah, that's first round. Second round, what would you have rather done than Bernard in second round? I can't really think. We just needed a receiver flat out second round. Did you want one of the other receivers that were available at the time? Would you have wanted to trade up higher to make sure we got Boston, or that dude from Ole Miss dude went number 1 in the second round of the 49ers? Third round, did you want a different quarterback? Not named Drew Allar? Did you just want a different position? Did you want another receiver? We got Dunker. So if you were going to say we should have taken Dunker with that first third round pick, we got him anyway. Probably got the best offensive lineman that was available throughout a good portion of that third round. Maybe you could argue Pregnon because he was still there for some of the third round. We got one of the top 2 or 3 guards, offensive linemen that was in the third round, late in the third round. So you can't really feel like we missed out on him by taking Allar. Kyle Lewis, I mean, Skeens flirts with perfection. He almost have a perfect game. That's pretty dope. Had to have been away. Yeah, he's definitely not at home. And then what was our second, third? Everett. All right, I get why maybe you could be concerned about that. Not necessarily concerned, but just be like, yeah, he's not going to really play for us this year. That's more of a future pick. I like what we did, man. I really like what we did. Ted Hurst traded back in the first to take who, though? Who would you want to take in the first? A different receiver? A lot of people liking the Dunker pick. I don't think anyone can complain about the Dunker pick. From an optics standpoint and his ability standpoint, he was supposed to go in the second round. Position flexibility, play tackle, play guard. Gonna most likely transition to guard and have a chance to be our day 1 starter at left guard competitions. But I like that competition now. I think the winner of that, you should feel good about going into week 1 of the regular season. Because I think Spencer Anderson can be a quality guy in this league. I think he's shown that in some of his spot starts. Whoever wins between Spencer Anderson and Dunker, I'll be like, yeah, I think they're going to be capable then at left guard. I don't think that's going to be a weakness for us. Rutledge was a good option in the first round. He kind of jumped the boards recently. I thought he was more of like a third round pick, maybe even second round pick, but Deco Hole Yinzer and ain't even stepped foot in the draft festivities. Yeah. Is that what the real Yinzers are doing though? The real Yinzers are just chilling back at the crib. Maybe. I don't want to speak for myself. I don't want to put that on myself. I'm just asking the question. I don't want to make myself a Yinzer above anyone else though. We all free to do it. I honestly don't think it's a bad idea to go down. If you're able to make it down, yeah, this is potentially once in a lifetime, potentially once in a generation type of chance to be at a draft in your home city. So I'm not going to knock it. I think just me personally, I don't really have FOMO. I don't. What's the real Yinzers doing out here? They staying home or they going down? Who's the realest of the real? The realest of the real is going down at the North Shore whenever the draft ain't here. Yeah, I might. We'll see. We'll see tomorrow. The draft's middle of the day. It's middle of the day. Then that's gonna go. What's it gonna go? Probably noon to 7 p.m. 7 or 8. It's gonna be a long. It's 4, 5, 6, 7 rounds. 12 to probably like 7 or 8. So I'm gonna have time. Hopefully it's less packed down there. I don't like. Is it gonna get packed at night? Is it gonna get packed? We'll see. Jay Cole, our O line is set for the future. All right, you're already flipping Fautanu to left tackle, left guard, the mullet Mauler, Frazier, Mason, and then Max. All right, so Broderick Jones out of the picture. Yeah, what are we doing? If Broderick, like, can we trade him? I guess this is the worst time to trade him. His stock will be at its absolute lowest. That's a shame too, because it really felt like he was playing better before he got hurt. That was a bummer. And if we keep Cook around, if we can keep Cook around and Spencer Anderson around with this starting 5, that's a really nice just overall O-line, starters and depth. And everyone's young. They're all growing up. They're all building together. And they're all doing that. They're all developing under hopefully some better O-line coaching. Although you can't really knock Pat Meyer for the last year or two. It seemed like the O-line started to actually live up to its potential. I actually think I said I would have kept Pat Meyer. I would have been fine keeping him with the regime change. But when you really think of it, you understand why McCarthy brought in new O-line coaches. They're going to be teaching his scheme. They're going to be teaching how he wants things blocked and everything. That's kind of a big deal. Both of them, at least one of them has the McCarthy tie. Does Jari Evans, did he have any ties to McCarthy, assistant coaching under him or whatnot? But he's like a Hall of Fame guard. If we're talking about a Hall of Fame guard being your assistant offensive line coach, we're doing something right with our hiring. Aiden Fox, Allar has a cannon arm, good pocket. I don't know about good pocket presence. I'll have to double check on that because my gut and my instinct from watching him says otherwise. Just off the top of my dome right now. Was Allar taken early though? Beck went early, wasn't he the first pick in the 3rd round? So that's around the time Beck, Allar, 3rd round. They were talking about in the same tier stratosphere. I don't think that's early. It's about the right time. You could just say all the quarterbacks maybe went a little bit earlier than projected. I know All right, we're good now. My bad. Yeah, I had to switch the mics. Computer went down. Computer died. A little bit quicker than expected. What did I say? Was it like 7%? Yeah, that happened. That caught up to me quick. But yeah, Mike's going to sound a little bit different. You guys said it's not much of a difference, though. I got this freaking, this one cost me a lot. I have those other, like, more basic mics, but I think this one's a little bit better for vocal, a little bit better for voice. It's actually crazy, though, this compared to the MacBook mic. I truly don't think it's like that crazy of a difference either. But it does make a difference if you're on headphones, probably on TV. Am I? Is it? Send me a link. Send me a screenshot or something. That'd be pretty wild. Is it like my take? Are they like showing my takes or something? See, this is what I thought. Yeah, that's his pocket presence and staying in the pocket and his footwork, all that stuff, and just awareness is some of the things that bring him down, that make him worse than what he should be. It's louder. So, all right, man. What a waste of money on this mic. Carson Beck, the next Josh Rosen. You just doing because he's on the Cardinals? Are you just doing that? Josh Rosen was bad, bro. Like, Josh Rosen's career was terrible. I'm not saying it's all on him. Maybe he got dealt a bad hand, but like, that was a bad career. Like, Carson Beck is gonna have to be like bad his rookie year and like a few starts and then bounce around the league, never get an opportunity again. I don't see that being the path for Carson Beck. I think he can at least be a career backup. At least be that. Like Drew Rosen, that's a bad career. It's almost Jamarcus Russell type of shit. Like, no one's beating out Jamarcus Russell for biggest bust quarterback. Probably between him and Ryan Leaf. Yeah, Brazow would have been dope. But with him, it's like, do we have too many big receivers? And that's why I'm kind of leaning Skylar Bell. Well, Skylar Bell is really the only one still available that sticks out from the rest of the receivers, it feels like to me. But whenever there was that group of receivers after Bernard of Brazow, Skylar Bell, Antonio Williams, Zachariah Branch, like I was kind of preferring Williams, Bell, or Branch just because of the contrast in their games compared to what we currently have with Pittman, Metcalf, and now Bernard. Although we got Roman Wilson, so if you want to say we have one of those scattier receivers, guys that are shifty, route runners, quick, smaller frame, you do have that in Roman Wilson. I just don't know where we're at with him. Do we even trust him to be wide receiver 4? Do we even believe in him to that degree? Because then if that's the case, I would have loved to have taken a flyer on Brazow. Love to. And just really not care about, or even Ted Hurst, not really care about size being an issue and just view him more as that pick, whether it's Brazow or Hurst, view that pick as more of a development piece for 2-3 years down the line. Almost like Everett. Outside of here's the thing. Outside of receiver and guard, they all can be projects. Now, we still don't know about offensive tackle. We still don't know about Broderick Jones. We're not privy to that information. But Bernard should be able to step in and be ready to give us some significant snaps right away. And same with Dunker if he beats out Spencer Anderson. Outside of that, which pick for any other positions are we drafting and they're stepping in and being day one starters? So that's why I ain't really stressing about the other picks outside of the receiver and guard position about whether they're projects or not. Because no matter who we're taking at those spots, they're just going to be projects by definition of them not playing a lot this year. So you could argue if that's the case, like maybe go a little bit more upside. Like, that's why Drew Allar ain't a bad pick. He's got some arm strength. He's got some talent that can't really teach. Everett with that speed. And then Maxi Yanador in the first round. Still a lot of untapped potential with him, clearly. But there is some like just talent and natural movement and athleticism to his game. So you could see that if it's fully developed, maybe he can be a perennial Pro Bowler at the tackle position. And we don't really need him to. That's why don't get me wrong. That's why it's a weird pick in the first round. The fact that we may not even need him to start his rookie year. Like, why are we taking him in the first round when we have receiver needs and guard needs? But you know what? I'm happy with Bernard. I'm happy with Dunker. Push comes to shove. I think we did all right. Maybe the tackle draft pick in the first round, still a little bit of a head scratcher, but how we handled the rest of it, how we responded was quality. It was just straight up class by Con. What would Rudolph's trade value be? I don't even know if you're getting anything for him. I don't. I personally think he's like a above average backup at least. I think he's a good backup to have. But I don't know who all the backup quarterbacks are in the league right now. Let me see. Type it in, Google AI, ranking quarterback backups. (2026) I can't really find a good list on here. I don't know where he'd be. I know I'm completely fine with Mason staying a backup here. Being QB2 here, a la Charlie Batch. But I also get why the Steelers don't really want to be stagnant and just accept Mason being the backup. Although, like, if we go with Howard, Mason would be the perfect backup. You know what I mean? The Steelers are in a weird spot there where you want to see what Drew Allar and Will Howard got. But those are two guys that are taking up spots on your quarterback depth chart. And if Rodgers comes back, I mean, you're not keeping four. But you wouldn't mind, like, Mason is the perfect guy to have around if you're having a young quarterback as your starter. But is Mason the best guy to have around when you're trying to develop other young quarterbacks under an Aaron Rodgers? Or is he just wasting reps for you? Because you're trying to see what that untapped potential is in Will Howard and Drew Allar. But if Mason's taking their snaps, you're not able to see that to the fullest extent. So it's a weird little timeline for Mason Rudolph and being a backup here, depending on what Rodgers does. Because he might get Landry Jones. I think Landry Jones is a good backup. Landry Jones is a good backup for a young quarterback. But remember, we still had Ben in the later stages of his career, and then also a couple young quarterbacks on the depth chart in Dobbs and Rudolph. So I'm basically talking about the same situation here, where if Ben retired or something and we named Mason the starter, you want Landry Jones the back. Like, Landry Jones is a good ass backup to have. But if Big Ben's still sticking around for a few years, like, Landry Jones is kind of just wasting space because Big Ben doesn't need a veteran backup. Big Ben knows what the hell he's doing out there. Same thing with Rodgers. You know what I mean? Now, with Mason, is he a just a flat out better guy to have come in for spot start duty in case Rodgers gets hurt than Will Howard or Drew Allar? Like, do we actually need Mason more for 2026 to help us win games in case Rodgers goes down with injury to give us a better chance to win than Will Howard or Drew Allar? I think that's the conversation. That's his way of making the team. Does he just flat out beat those other two in the offseason and training camp and in preseason games to the extent where we can't deny keeping him on the roster? He just makes us better. He just helps us out in case Rodgers goes down with injury. But if it's close, then that's when you start to have the conversations. You start to have the thoughts of going with the younger guys. Complex situation there. No, you know what? I did the mullet. I don't know. You guys probably remember. I did the mullet before. I did it. It was probably like 4 or 5 years ago. I was definitely a few pounds heavier than I am right now. I had a mustache, a beard. My eyes weren't as good. I didn't have LASIK, so I had glasses. I had a mullet. Honestly, though, it started to become less noticeable pretty quickly because I always wore hats too. I always wore the black and white pirate hat, and then, a month into me having the mullet, the hair was starting to grow out on the sides, and I'm just wearing the hat. It's just like my hair was just a fucking mess all around, and the big ass beard. So the mullet wasn't necessarily the defining feature for myself during that time period. I think it was just the overall look of, I don't know, just straight up Yinzer. Even going back to like Yinzer, what the Yinzers are doing, like that was Yinzer of all Yinzers. Like that look I had for Old Deke, basically. That Old Deke was like the epitome of what a Yinzer looked like, I felt like. No, I told you. I don't think it's all on Rodgers now. After hearing McCarthy today, I think McCarthy's completely fine with Rodgers chilling. Completely fine. Yeah, Madden days. I was doing Madden out of my garage. So like the winter, I have to have like, I don't even know. Did I have a heater on? I can't hear. I think I had a heater for some days. Have to have a heater on, and I was wearing my big ass puffy ass jacket. We really like Max. Were people being interviewed about this or something on the streets, or were people doing fan reactions? I like him too. I didn't like the pick though. I got nothing wrong with him. I like the pick more now though. I like the pick as time's going on. We're seeing how the Steelers are playing out the rest of this draft. It's all piecing together like a puzzle. It's all starting to make a little bit more sense. I like the pick now. I like the pick more. But for him personally, yeah, I got nothing wrong with him. That'll be good. Yeah, maybe some merch opportunities for people. Yeah. Yeah, he's got one of the more unique looks in the league. Absolutely. What's his nickname? Does he got nicknames? He has an unreal normal name. Like his main name, Jennings Dunker, is unreal. So does he need any nicknames? Like almost if you try to do a nickname based off of his mullet, based off his look, you might be doing him a disservice because Jennings Dunker just works. Jennings Dunker is just a fucking badass name to begin with. If you try to, I don't know. I don't know what nicknames you could even do. I mean, he's got red hair. He's got a mullet, stash. I don't know if anything you can come up with beats his real name, Jennings Dunker. Jennings Dunker is just a badass name. Let me see. Usually they have like nicknames on the Football Reference site. Some of them are like, yeah, I've never heard this dude be called this ever. You ever check the like Pro Football Reference? Like you see someone's page and you see all the nicknames they have. It's like, yeah, no one's ever called this dude that in their life. Why is it on here? Man, they already have Jennings Dunker on Pro Football Reference. That was quick. No, they don't have a nickname for him. His full name is Jennings Michael Dunker. Yeah, that's even more perfect. You have a very normal middle name on top of Jennings being your first name and Dunker being your last name. That's how it's done right there. Jennings Michael Dunker. Yeah, because if you had a really unique middle name, it's like, okay, you're doing too much there. That's way too much. Big Red. See, Jennings Dunker is just better than Big Red. Big Red's like just a generic nickname for a dude with red hair that's big. Dunk. I mean, that's just shortening his last name. G Dunk. G Dunk ain't bad. The Dunk Truck. Little Red then. Jennings Dunker. Viking. Dunk Truck's got a bet. Dunk Truck would be Dump Truck. Dunkin' Donut. I don't know. Yeah, Jennings Dunker is like kind of long. If you just want to get to the point when you're talking about it, maybe he does need a nickname. Maybe he does need just something quick. Jennings Dunker, 4 syllables. Sometimes you need something a little more quick. G Dunk. G Dunk ain't bad. Red. Just Red. You're just calling him Dunker. Heinz Duncan. Chris Ayers, why take Allar in the third if Rodgers guaranteed to come back? I realize Beck went in the third, so Allar may have not been available in the fourth or fifth. It's competition for Howard. I think it's putting Mason on the hot seat. I think it's just overall competition in the quarterback room. Just trying to elevate the play of the QBs in the building. I think that's just what it comes down to. I don't think anyone could knock that concept. Does anyone have a big complaint against that? I don't think you can, because it's the quarterback position, and we have a lot of uncertainty at that spot for the future. Yeah, we've witnessed that over the last 2 or 3 years. That's why I want to make sure we're good at the position. That's the scenario. That's where things get interesting. Say Allar and Howard play good enough, and Mason also plays good enough, but you're not going to keep 4 on your roster. You're going to have to let one go. And let's say you want to keep Mason because of his experience. You're not feeling as good about the young quarterbacks as you would have liked, maybe necessarily. And it's going to come down to you releasing Will Howard or Drew Allar, and you want them to come back on the practice squad. But once you release them, they're on the free market and teams can claim them. And you might be out of luck. You might not be able to keep the rights of all 4 once you go from 4 quarterbacks to 3 on cut day. Yeah, do you have one of them fake an injury or something? Tweak an ankle? Stub a toe? All right, maybe I'll have one more beer, then we'll call it. This is fun. This is actually, I like this stream. I like the impromptu nature of this one. I really wasn't planning on going live, but once we picked Drew Allar, it's like I feel like I got a lot to say. I feel like a lot of people are going to want to talk about this. A lot of people, like, this pick raises the energy for like everyone among Steeler Nation. So I'm just like, this just feels like a moment to go live. And then we got to watch the rest of the third round. And now we're doing the post-draft report here. Not 3 more. 2 more. 2 more will be fine. Or no, this 1 more. 2 total. I think 2 total, fine. Yesterday we were delving into the liquor. It was the first round. appropriate, but just smelling some of the tequila, just smelling some of the captain. I wasn't really too hungover today. I wasn't. Slept in. I was up late. Okay, I get a pass for sleeping in. I mean, technically, I get a pass for sleeping in whenever I want. I mean, I don't like it. It's not my favorite thing. Sometimes you just need sleep. I am more of a stay up late guy and sleep in guy versus going to bed early and waking up early. Big blood. No. You are on vodka last night, bourbon tonight. It's too much. Not gonna lie, I went to work with some brain fog. Yeah, it took me a little bit this morning, like 2-3 hours. I get the hair trimmed up a little bit, and then I had a coffee in the system. What else? Did I have some eggs? Coffee, some eggs. Yeah, ate some good shit this morning. Some fruit. I think that helped. Still didn't hydrate myself enough throughout the day, though. As you saw me earlier, I was chugging that water. Like, that was very much needed. Allar had season-ending shoulder surgery. Oh, yeah, he did. I mean, that kind of derailed Penn State season, although I think it was already derailing before that. That happens. They fire James Franklin. Yeah, Pittsburgh sober. Yeah, you get to save your liquor. I guess you get to save your liquor for some of the bigger moments or bigger parties. If you stay steady Pittsburgh sober. No, that's just water. Just water. I'd let you guys know if that was vodka. Yeah, we're forgetting about Muth with this whole receiver conversation and Bernard and maybe drafting another guy at some point in the rest of this draft. Muth hopefully is going to be more utilized in this McCarthy offense. Lakers up 3-0 on the Rockets. Holy hell. Wow, they got Bronny in. They got Bronny in the playoffs doing like layup alley-oops. What happened to KD and the Rockets, man? They made that big trade last offseason. KD was supposed to put them over the top, bring that championship experience. Anyway, Muth. This team's loaded, man. Like, I'm just telling you, this team on paper is loaded. We should be excited about this season. We're completely forgetting about Muth. Completely forgetting about Darnell Washington. Which is maybe why we didn't go out of our way in the third round to get another receiver. I still like this call. I would still completely be fine with this. Get Tyreek or Diggs in here. Ayuk, I was seeing on the bottom of the ticker, the draft ticker, 49ers still trying to complete a trade for Ayuk. Not saying we should trade for Ayuk, give up assets, take on his contract, anything like that. But I think at some point the Niners are going to have to cut him. The Niners are going to have to move on. If they cut him and he's a free agent, we bring him in for like $5 million on a 1-year deal, prove-it deal. Like, who's better right now? Serious question. I know Pittman's he's kind of got the better rep going for himself. Doesn't really bring any drama. But who do you think who would actually be the better wide receiver? If we brought in Ayuk, who's better? Ayuk or Pittman? Ayuk's had injuries, and again, Ayuk's got some drama and antics issues, kind of like Pickens, but I feel like Pittman's never reached the high highs of Ayuk. If you're talking about an individual season, you guys are all saying Pittman. Yeah, I mean, that's probably right. when Ayuk, I'm just saying when Ayuk's on, I don't think Pittman can be on Ayuk's level. I think Ayuk can do things in his game that Pittman's just not physically capable of. Whether you're talking just route running, agility, separation, even down the field. So like Ayuk, when he's on, when he had, didn't he have an all-pro season? Didn't he have a season where he had like 1,400 yards? We still haven't seen that from Pittman. I don't think Pittman's never reached those. Like, yeah, in 2023, 1,342 yards, 7 touchdowns, 75 receptions. That's why they were talking about giving him $30 million. I would take a flyer on. I would if he was a free agent between him, Diggs, or Tyreek Hill. I would take the chance. If we're bringing back Rodgers, we're talking about being all in. Why not? Like Diggs just had a 1,000-yard season with the Patriots. Was by all means a good teammate. Like he's got stuff going on off the field for sure. That's not good, but as a teammate, and yeah, you still got to see what's going on with him and the legal stuff. And if he gets, I think Tyreek. What's the deal with Tyreek's off-field stuff too? Is he like cleared off-field? It feels like he's always got something going. He's like pretty much annually. There's something with Tyreek off the field that's popping up, and I think it always gets like either dropped or he wins and nothing happens. But I think the concern with Tyreek is just the injury with him, right? And he's just waiting things out. But Diggs still has legal stuff. And you got to see if he gets cleared. You got to see if he wins that case or if it gets dropped or whatever. It's something to do with a chef too, like some type of altercation with a chef. Blazers even, dude. I haven't been paying attention to the NBA at all. The most I've been paying attention is just seeing some of these highlights from the Lakers and Rockets game. I knew that the Lakers were winning the series, and now I'm seeing right now Game 3 they go up 3-0, won in overtime. Yeah, who's even good in the NBA? I know Thunder are good. Spurs are good. Actually, I did watch whenever I was out of town, I watched one of the Spurs Timberwolves game for a little bit. Are Blazers really in the playoffs? Yeah, he is. Yeah, that's what I mean. That's why Bernard's a good pick. He's slot receiver, can play outside though. Big body. I think is he 6'1" or 6'2"? I kind of think he's 6 foot. It doesn't really matter. 6'1", 6'1", 203. You can make the case for Bernard over Cooper. You can make the case for Bernard over some of these other receivers that went ahead of him. Just it all depends on what you're looking for. So really, going back to what I was saying before the draft. Wait, Spurs playing the Trail? Wow, I'm a fucking idiot. What game was I watching? Wasn't it the Timberwolves? Who are the Timberwolves playing then? Were Spurs playing the Trailblazers? Because it's saying they're playing right now, and it's a first-round game. Is the game that I watched, was it Spurs Trailblazers and not Timberwolves? Am I just an idiot? Both teams start with a T, and I got confused. NBA, these teams wear all these different jerseys nowadays. Like, there's no brand identity. Like Celtics, don't Celtics have like white and gold jerseys or something stupid like that? Nuggets will. That's actually the game it was. There was a Spurs. Actually, I you know what? I did watch a couple of NBA games whenever I was out of town. It was after the Penguins game. I would just throw on whatever NBA game was on after the Penguins game. Which Penguins play tomorrow? Is it tomorrow? We're down 3-0. It's a tough scene. I mean, I haven't even watched them at all this year. I've been trying to pay attention for the playoffs. I feel like the first 2 games, we were actually like in it. The first 2 games, the last one was bad. Last one was really bad. Deke News, TJ Watt trade in 2027. I think you just got to see how the season plays out. I don't think we have to rush to any judgments right now. We don't have to be set on any decisions on what we do with any of these players in 2027. What if TJ Watt returns to vintage form? What if Herbig gets hurt? What if Highsmith is inconsistent? And TJ comes out of this season being your most consistent edge rusher that you can rely on. And you're not as eager to be trading him. If TJ takes a step back, if TJ's injured and Herbig and Highsmith really elevate, then I think, yes, TJ being traded, much more likely. I think also it depends on what the team as a whole does. Like, no matter how good TJ Watt does, if we suck this year or we get to a point where the 2026 season is over and it's clear it's time for a rebuild, Rodgers ain't coming back, we're rocking with Will Howard, we're rocking with Drew Allar, we're rocking with whatever young quarterback, and 2027 is probably not going to be a year for us to contend, then maybe it's time to move off of some of these veterans with bigger contracts. Again, no matter how good they played for us or not, it's just they don't fit the timeline of where we're at as a team and what we need as a franchise for the future anymore. Unfortunately, I think all of us would love for TJ Watt to be a Steeler for life, just like Cam Hayward. Just like who else is even on this team who's been here long enough or has that sentimental attachment to like the fan base where you're saying, yeah, that guy just needs to be a Steeler for life. It's really only TJ and Cam because we got a bunch of like young and up and coming guys. Highsmith, but he just hasn't been as good as someone like TJ Watt or Cam Hayward, though, to be talking about him being like he needs to be a Steeler for life. It needs to go down in history like that. You know what I mean? It would feel wrong seeing that person in another Steeler uniform. I would like Highsmith to be a Steeler for life. There's been some headlines out there that the Steelers view Highsmith as the next face of the franchise because what he does in the community and how high character he is, on top of him obviously playing good. You got to be playing good too. Highsmith's he's like this generation's Brett Kiesel, probably. That's how we could look at him. Sure, if he's Steeler for life, good, but I don't think it's the end of the world. It's not like you're doing the franchise like a injustice. Like if Troy Polamalu played on a different team, like awful, almost like Franco Harris did with the Seahawks, right? That's a good question though, about TJ. TJ should be Steeler for just off of feel, just off of who he is, what he's accomplished for the franchise. He should be Steeler for life. Like we want that, but if this year goes sideways and it's clear it's rebuild time, yeah, might be time to move off of TJ. Even his brother wasn't able to stay in one franchise for his whole career. Woodley Highsmith. I like that because Woodley did play elsewhere. Yeah. Woodley was just better, though. He had higher highs. Highsmith I think he's aging out way better than Woodley. I think Woodley, he got out of shape, and his play took a dip after we won the Super Bowl, and he got some of his accolades. I think he got the contract and stuff. Highsmith, going back to high character, he got his contract. It feels like he's getting better. He just gets hurt too much. That's what his problem is. Last year was really good for Highsmith. It's just a shame he couldn't play 17 games. If he played 17 games, he probably ends up with 13 sacks or something. Highsmith, yeah, Highsmith very much may go down as the better player over Woodley when it's all said and done. Woodley with that Super Bowl, that's tough. Whenever you're talking about legacy and Steeler players, that Super Bowl does matter. Is it the be-all, end-all? No, but there's definitely weight to it. There's definitely a multiplier with that Super Bowl if you want it, and it's close. Like, AB is the best receiver in Steelers history, right? Even without the ring. But if you're saying who's the best Steeler receiver legacy-wise, just like the epitome of what it means to be a Steeler, if you're doing like a Steelers museum, if you're taking someone through a Steelers museum and you had to put a portrait or a statue or something, a little plaque of the Steeler receivers in order, and the first one you like take a guess in to see, like you're trying to have them be the example of the best Steeler receiver, or the greatest Steeler receiver, right? Are you putting AB1? Are you putting AB1 on the plaque? If we got to play a game tomorrow, if it's just straight football, if we got to play a game tomorrow, yeah, AB's number one. AB's easily number one. But if you're taking someone through a Steeler museum, you're taking someone through like a Steelers like shrine, and you're hanging up plaques, you're hanging up some pictures, and you're trying to represent the Steeler receiver fraternity, the Steeler receiver family. Who should be the first receiver in order? Is it AB? Where would you even put AB then? Because if you're not putting AB first, like, where are you putting him? This is a great question. This is a great hypothetical. Where are you putting AB? Where are you putting James Harrison with how he exited the Steelers? If you're doing like the edge rusher thing, where are you putting Harrison? I mean, one of the greatest plays of all time in Super Bowl history. 2-time Super Bowl champion, Depoy. One of the best, like, 4 or 5 years of an edge rusher in NFL history. Weird exit. AB, though, going back to AB, because we have an unreal history of receivers here with the Steelers. Like, if he's not one, let's just say, for example, I'm not saying this is how I would do the order. If he's not one, and so you put Hines Ward one, like, how are you putting AB 2 over like Lynn Swann and Stallworth, and then don't forget Holmes too? I think you definitely put AB over Holmes, but like Lynn, Swann, and Stallworth, like the reasons you're putting Hines Ward over AB are probably the same reasons you would put Lynn Swann and Stallworth over AB, right? Championships, embodied, Steeler culture and leadership, no drama, on top of the production and the shit that they did on the field, right? Like that's the reason you're putting any one of the other receivers over AB. So if you do that, how are you putting AB over whoever you don't have at number one? Interesting question. Yeah, maybe we just got to see if AB makes the Hall of Honor, point blank, period. Maybe that's our answer right there. Because obviously you have guys like Hines and Stallworth, Lynn Swann, and Holmes. They're all making the Hall of Honor. If they all make the Hall of Honor and AB doesn't, I think that answers your question, how the Steelers view the whole honoring the Steeler receiver family and fraternity. Versus, I got a game tomorrow. AB's number one. Not even a question. Like, we're not worried about politics. We're not worried about how shit looks. We're not worried about exits and pleasantries. I want to win a game tomorrow. I'm drafting AB number one out of all of our receivers. Big Ben is in the Hall of Honor, yes. I think he just got in last year, right? Him, Pouncey, and Joey Porter. And then 2-3 months later, Joey Porter's calling out Big Ben on a podcast with Diana Rossini. I think wasn't Rossini on that podcast too? Hell of a lineup there. Cam Hayward, Rossini, and Joey Porter. They were talking, they were talking shit on Ben. Come on, bro, that was fucked up. Louis Riddick talking about Kyle Lewis on SportsCenter right now. Of course, he's talking about Kyle Lewis. Louis Riddick from Pitt. Kyle Lewis from Pitt. I like Louis Riddick's probably one of my favorite commentators. He's really, really good. The only complaint I have about him is whenever he was talking about Ty Simpson and Will Howard earlier this offseason, he was shitting on Will Howard, saying Ty Simpson's in a whole different stratosphere. That's insane to me. How can you say that? How can you say that? What else we got in the chat? We kind of just went down a whole rabbit hole there with legacy receiver talk. That was fun. Heath Miller over AB. No, get out of here. I don't. Maybe you're talking about legacy. I don't think I could go that far. AB was just too damn good. No, I don't know about that. It's like some of those other receivers though, or we'll say weapons on offense. Like Stallworth's got 4 championships, like a Super Bowl MVP, Hall of Famer. Same with Stallworth. I guess he doesn't have the Super Bowl MVP. And then Hines Ward, 2-time Super Bowl champion. It was 1,000 reception. He hit that milestone. Super Bowl MVP. One of the best receivers of his generation. Heath Miller hasn't really hit all that. He does have some of the Super Bowls, but yeah, Chris Ayers. People are already forgetting how good AB was and the numbers he put up. Yeah, bro. Just look. Honestly, after this video, after this stream, just look up online AB highlights. It's just damn, we missed out on another 3, 4, 5 years of Big Ben and AB like that. Really missed out. I don't know. I think he's still trying to come back. Yeah, definitely. I think my message has been pretty consistent on Rodgers this whole offseason. I think I've had him as our number one option, and I'm fine with waiting for him. It's just not a big deal to me. I want him back. If he doesn't come back, I'm also fine with the Will Howard route. I've been pretty open to what the Steelers do at quarterback this offseason. I don't think I really had a complete hard stance. I just feel like Rodgers is our probably best option. There's other good options, or there were other good options that were out there. I think we could have at least considered. I don't think they would have been bad routes to take, like Kyler Murray on a vet minimum, signing Malik Willis, or bypassing those two options and just running it with Will Howard and drafting a quarterback like Drew Allar and having Mason. Fine, whatever. If it's good, it's good. If it's bad, it's also good because, maybe we actually get a good draft pick for next year, and that is the ultimate sign for us to rebuild and start to garner in the new era. But if it works, it works. Cool. We might have one of these young quarterbacks be our future franchise. We're just in a really weird spot as a franchise, not knowing what to do at quarterback. We've been blessed for so long with Big Ben, that stability, and then he leaves, and we've just been trying to figure it out. And then I see Sam Darnold win a Super Bowl with the Seahawks after getting bumped around the league, all these different places, failing with the Jets, weird with the Panthers, goes to be a backup with the 49ers, then balls out with the Vikings, signs a big contract with the Seahawks after flopping the last 2 games with the Vikings, signs for $30 million, becomes a Seahawks starter, and they win a Super Bowl with him. It's all right, anything could be on the table. to give us a chance to win, really. Like, it could be any of these paths. You see Dak Prescott, he's a 4th-round pick. Brock Purdy, 7th-round pick. They're top 15-ish quarterbacks. Sam Darnold, I would say, is like a top 15-ish quarterback. Seahawks won with him. So can Will Howard be a top 15-ish quarterback? I don't see why not. Is it this year? Is it down? Who knows whenever? But like Mike McCarthy has helped develop 6th-rounders in the past, like Matt Hasselbeck. I think Matt Hasselbeck at the time in his heyday with the Seahawks was top 15-ish. He was a 6th-round pick. Dak Prescott had his best years with McCarthy. McCarthy has made Cooper Rush look viable at times. So that's why I don't think Will Howard's a bad option. I don't think it would have been a terrible idea to trade for Mac Jones if the price was right. Or, again, bring in Kyler Murray on a cheap vet minimum, or sign Malik Willis with the upside that he's got and how he's looked with the Packers. I think those all could have been viable options, just as much as bringing back Aaron Rodgers and pairing him with McCarthy again after the season that he had last year with the Steelers and the weak-ass weapons that we had with them. Yeah, I think Rodgers could be better this year, even though he's going to be a year older. But I think throughout these conversations, I've consistently pretty much pointed to I want push comes to shove, just bring back Rodgers. I would just want to bring back Rodgers the most out of all of them. I think it makes the most sense for now this season and also for the future, because you still get the benefit of Drew Allar and Will Howard learning under Rodgers for a season. Like that ain't hurting them in their quest to be long-term quarterbacks in this league. Waiting another season under Aaron Rodgers, that ain't gonna hurt them. Just ask Jordan Love. Just ask Aaron Rodgers himself. Ask Mahomes. Waited a year under Alex Smith. So is this for the legacy? Because I honestly, if we're just talking about playing a game tomorrow, anyone that doesn't have AB as one, you guys need to get your ball knowledge checked. I feel like any list that has receivers over AB, you're just talking about the museum. You're just talking about like Hall of Honor type of shit, right? But you got Swan 1. I could see that. I could kind of see this. But again, this is my main question. For the reasons you have Swan over AB, wouldn't those be the same reasons why you have Ward over AB too? Or do you just feel like Ward didn't win enough Super Bowls and AB was just that good? That outweighs Ward's Super Bowls and the production that Ward has. I don't know. I'm just asking. I'm just spitballing here, getting some clarification. Yeah, there's a case for this. I think I was talking about this earlier in the offseason. You know, spending a late round pick on Anthony Richardson, a guy that was a former number 4 overall pick. Like, what's the difference between doing that and spending a 3rd or 4th round pick on Drew Allar, Carson Beck, and Nussmeier? It's the same concept. It's just all the same concept. It's just Anthony Richardson's kind of got a bad rap right now with how he's handled his Colts career. But high upside, talented. You're just taking a swing, taking a chance that if he gets in the system, he gets on a new team, gets some new coaching, he can be better. Bro, this was insane. I was at that game too. I was at that game, but my friend made me leave at the end. That was actually crazy. That was crazy. I think that was the only game I ever left early. It was just like I just wanted to be a good friend, because he had like, I shouldn't have left. Basically, I should not have left. Looking back on it, I don't think I would not have left now. I would not have left now. I don't think I would have. Yeah, he wanted to like leave for work or something, and like he had to like walk like through this like a long way over to like North Side. Like I was like, man, I don't want to like, you know what I mean? Like I was just trying to be a good friend. Just like look out. Like, all right, I'll roll with you. Missed that. Yeah, completely missed that. Like I mean, me leaving her, no, never do that. But yeah, then you go home and like, yeah, we just missed one of the best endings of all time. I mean, we've had some good endings with Big Ben. We've had some crazy ass fourth quarters and comeback situations. I was at that Denver game. That Denver game was awesome. I guess no fly zone, the Broncos team that won. That was a hell of a comeback. That was a cool one to be at. Been to some cool games. I've been to a lot of games actually. Yeah, it's been to a lot of games. Not a lot of good ones recently. This year sucked. I went to the Packers game and I went to the Texans wildcard game. Both were fucking trash. Which ones did I go to last year? Or I guess the year before last year. Yeah, I don't even know if I went to any. I don't know if I went to any with Russ. No, I didn't. I went to none with Russ and Fields. I was doing Bleach Report. I was doing all Bleach Report stuff. This year I got flexibility. Let's see. Mount Rushmore. Yeah, I mean that would probably be it. AB, Stallworth. It would be AB, Stallworth, Hines, and Swan. I think that's what it is. I think that's what it is for top four. Yeah, I mean this is one of the biggest what ifs in Steeler history. Him and Shazier for sure. AB too. AB a little bit of a what if. He doesn't kind of go off the rails there. He gets another 3-4 seasons in his prime. Big Ben, although one of the seasons would have been without Big Ben because of Big Ben tearing up his elbow. But still, I mean, AB could have still played into. He'd probably still play now, low key. He legitimately could have made it to a point we'd be talking about between him and Jerry Rice as the best receivers of all time. Who is legitimately the best? Probably could have played till he was 40. And still been like Jerry Rice. Jerry Rice was putting up like 1,000-yard season with the Raiders at like age 38, 39. I think AB could have still done. He could be like a wide receiver 3, getting you 800-900 yards at age like 38, 39. How old would he have been? I don't know. How old is he now? Is he like 37, 38? 37. He will be 38 in July. Yeah, I do. That did. It's sad that I hate that I don't. I think just as a fan base, I'm a little critical of how much we belabor on that. Because bro, we were still the fucking the 2 seed? We were still the 2 seed. Just beat the Jaguars at home. Now it does give us a way better draw. I think we play the Titans instead, and we throttled the Titans that year. We play the Titans at home in that divisional game. And we had trouble with the Jaguars that season. I think we lost to the Jaguars at home earlier that season. That's when Ben threw a lot of picks or something. We struggle with them. So we get the Jaguars draw at home instead of the Titans at home. And then if we win that game, the Patriots got to come to us at home. And if that Jesse James catch happens, well, yeah, Patriots might not even beat the Jaguars. They struggled with the Jaguars in the AFC Championship game. They shouldn't have beat the Jaguars in that AFC Championship game after we lost to them. They really shouldn't have. They got like a call or two in that fourth quarter that was insane. Like some shitty-ass calls go the Patriots' way. I thought the Jaguars actually outplayed them. So maybe they still get those favorable calls in the divisional round against the Jaguars. But yeah, we'd be playing the Patriots at home in the AFC Championship. Still no Shazier though. But we pretty much beat the Patriots without Shazier as well at home. Yeah, that was probably the best team. I think that was the best team that didn't win a Super Bowl that I've witnessed growing up. I think so. Because that was when Martavis wasn't suspended. And we had Juju on his rookie year. So it was like 3 top receivers doing their thing. Juju, Martavis, AB. Bell still on the team. That was the year before he sat out. O-line still in their prime. Big Ben, prime. And then that defense, was that first year Joe Hayden? We had Joe Hayden. I don't remember the secondary completely. I know Mike Mitchell was back there. I don't know who the other safety was. But Shazier was held until he wasn't, until he got hurt. It was was that TJ rookie year, Cam Hayward in prime. The defense was actually starting, it felt like, to come into their own. Years before that, they were still trying to find their footing. We had a bunch of mismatched parts, like Ross Cock. We had some bad secondaries in that Killer B era, but it felt like things were starting to finally come together in 2017, getting Joe Hayden in there. Shazier. Who was the linebacker with Shazier in 2017? What was that combo? I can't even remember. Might have been Edmund. Was that Edmund? No, Edmund's rookie year was 2018. Was it Sean Davis? It might have been Sean Davis. Was that Sean Davis? Artie Burns' rookie year was 2016, and he was good 2016. So 2017, he must have taken. I don't know who. I can't remember who the other cornerback was then. Should I look this up? You guys mind this? We're just randomly talking about old Steeler teams. I don't know if this is interesting or not. 2017 depth chart. I'm going to guess Sean Davis, and I think Sean Davis was good still. Sean Davis, Mike Mitch. I don't remember who's the other Shazier linebacker. We have Bud Dupree, Tuitt still. Okay. No, this is a different team. Oh, no, this is the right team. Rosie Nix. I forgot about that. Javon Hargrave. Second year with Tuitt. Bud Dupree. Oh, Vince Williams. Wow, I'm an idiot. Yeah, this was... So I'm right. Sean Davis, Mike Mitch, safeties. We didn't, you know what? Unless this depth chart is this depth chart might be too early. This depth chart's in August. When did we trade for, didn't we trade for Joe Hayden the middle of the preseason? Yeah, this depth chart's August 2017. I need give me something middle of the season. Give me, I'll go 10-1, 2017. Yeah, AB, Martavis, Juju, Darius Hayward-Bay, receiver. Yeah, the defense is Joe Hayden and Burns is our top 2. Willie Gay. Yeah, is that one? Willie Gay, there was a couple seasons there in the Killer B area. He kind of came out of nowhere, had a little resurgence to his career. Didn't he go somewhere else and he came back? He was a decent player for us in that second stint. Yeah, Sean Davis, Mike Mitchell, safety, Joe Hayden, Artie Burns. I guess Burns was – this is just probably when his play started to decline. But still, you look at the rest of this defense, it's these guys are finally starting to come into their own. Cam Hayward, Hargrave, Tuitt, Bud Dupree, Shazier. Vince Williams, TJ Watt, rookie year. We still have James Harrison. Tough, man. Tough. Like that was probably the best team I've witnessed not win a Super Bowl. I mean, the next best one is literally the one that went to the Super Bowl and lost to Rodgers, I guess you could say. Like, I think I kind of just think that team still had like more talent. Like everyone was just more in their prime. It's hard to say. That's actually compared to the team that actually went to the Super Bowl and lost. Didn't Ben and Tomlin have a conversation? They had a debate on what defense was better between the team that lost the Super Bowl, the 2010 team, versus the 08 team. I don't even know how that's a conversation. The 08 team is the best defense I've ever seen. What? that question didn't even make sense to me. I think every player was a better version of themselves in 08. Like everyone was just a little bit older in 2010. We didn't have Holmes in 2010. Now that's not necessarily the defense, but I mean, I think that was a big part as to why we didn't win that Super Bowl. We fucking traded Holmes. Stupidest thing. You're talking about a guy that you could rely on in the fourth quarter. And no one ever talks about it. I think Mike Wallace dropped that fourth down pass. It hit his hands. It hit his hands on the last drive of the game. Hit his hands. Kind of, it was kind of, I want to say contested. I mean, the defender was there, but it hit Wallace's hands. I'm just saying, I don't think Holmes drops that. Oh, that's you know what? That's another one. Another one, man. Wow. We came back in that game too. Came back up to fourth down. What was it? Fourth down and 1, fourth down and 2. David Garrard, fucking QB sneak. Yup. Yeah, that was a good team too. That was a really good team. That was the year before we won the Super Bowl, I think, right? Yeah, that was Tomlin's first year. That's when we said, "Oh, we'll be fine without Coward." Like Tomlin, dude, I'm not even joking. Like Tomlin's that first 3, 4, 5 year run. I remember talking to my friends. I think we were in high school at the time. One friend made this comment. He's like, at the end of Tomlin's career, we're going to be calling the Lombardi Trophy the Tomlin Lombardi Trophy, or the Lombardi Tomlin Trophy, or something like that. Like we're going to win that much. Like Tomlin's going to get his name attached to the Super Bowl trophy at the end of this thing. That's how it felt. It's crazy how, going back to the conversation we were having a little bit yesterday, I was like, you don't know you're in the good times until they're over. You wish you knew you were in the good times when you were in them, and appreciated them that much more. Because when we were on that winning time period of winning those Super Bowls and going to Super Bowl, it was a 5 or 6 year time stretch. It felt like just easy almost in a way. Like, yeah, this is just what we do. We go on playoff runs. We go to Super Bowls. It's almost like expected. It's like, this is never going to end. Of course, we lose the Super Bowl against the Pack. Oh, we'll just be back next year. We'll be back in the next 2 or 3 years. Don't worry about it. We'll have another opportunity at this. Like Big Ben, as long as he's here, he's probably going to win 4 or 5 Super Bowls. That's how I felt with Tomlin being the head coach and everything. It's just, but shit happens, man. Injuries happen. There's team turnover. Players get old. Dynamics change. Coordinators leave. Nothing stays the same, I guess. Nothing stays the same. Yeah, still shocked. 7 only had 2 Super Bowls when it's all said and done. Still shocked. Same with Tomlin. Tomlin only 1 Super Bowl. It was that 08 one. Still shocked. That's how it all played out. If you had to make a bet with a Steeler fan back in 08 or even back in 2010 after we lost the Super Bowl, will Big Ben and Tomlin at least get 1 more Super Bowl the rest of their careers together? You would easily put the over under at probably like 2. You would put the over under at like 2.5, maybe 1.5. That wouldn't even be a question. You would just say, yeah, that'd be easy. Yeah, Deontay a little underrated as a Steeler. Really was. Weird, bad exit with him. Not really like a ceremonial exit either. Not much pomp and circumstance to it. Just we trade him to the Panthers, and he came off a good year too. What was Deontay's last year as a Steeler? He actually had decent stats. Probably had like 800-900 yards. He just didn't have a touchdown. Remember, that was the thing. Just couldn't get past the end zone. He actually had a good season though. Last team with the Steelers, he averaged 55 yards a game. So he only played in 13 games, but had 717 yards, 5 touchdowns. Actually, the season he didn't score was the year before. It was 2022. 882 yards in 17 games, 0 touchdowns. I think that was Pickett's rookie year too. Like, that's a good season. Dealing with the rookie quarterback, we didn't really throw too much with Canada's offense. That's a good season. And then the next season in 13 games, 717 yards, 5 touchdowns. If he would have actually played in all 17 games, so add 4 more games at 55 yards a game, that's over 200. He ends up with like 950 yards, probably like 7 touchdowns. He was a good receiver for us. Really was. Maybe dropped the ball a little too much on occasion. But, yeah, that's unfortunate. I mean, him and Claypool, you could even argue Juju in a way. All of these receivers that go elsewhere, sometimes the grass ain't always greener. Now, Pickens is turning that example upside down. Pickens is definitely not sticking with that status quo with leaving the Steelers. It definitely doesn't fit in with that reputation of leaving. When some of these guys leave the Steelers, they do worse. Emmanuel Sanders was another one of those dudes too. He kind of was just in a better spot with the Broncos. Well, I get it. Yeah. I was going to say, you can make the argument with Juju, but in terms of he did play good with the Chiefs too. I can't even knock him either. But he never really found footing as a steady receiver on a team. Like, I don't want us to go as far as to say franchise receiver, but finding a role, long-term team, good production year in and year out, consistent. That was just like an outlier season with the Chiefs, and then he goes to the Patriots. Nothing happens there, and now he bounced back to the Chiefs, but he's never reclaimed that same role, or not only with the Chiefs that he had prior, but the same type of role that he had with the Steelers whenever he was humming here. Wow, that's a good way to put it. Is that the pick we used for Allar? Is that it? Wow. Yeah, I'd much rather just have Pickens. Much rather have Pickens, and also we still could have drafted Jeremy Bernard. Our receiver room could be Pickens, Bernard, Pittman, and DK. Now, maybe we don't trade for Pittman if we still have Pickens. But we would be in a good spot. Or just on paper with Pickens. I did too. He had a really nice underrated Steeler career, special teamer, and then it felt like always when one of our receivers would get injured, he could step in and you really didn't feel like you were missing a beat. He had a good connection with Big Ben. He would actually have some games, maybe like 30, 40 yards and a touchdown, a nice little 25, 30-yard catch down the field on a deep post or something, on a vert route. Okay. We got a comedian in the chat today. He should have been better than what he was, too. I thought there was one season he was on pace like the first 3-4 games. He was getting like 100 yards, 100+ a game. I'm like, wow, he might get to like 2,000 at this rate. Like, him and Ben are just firing on all cylinders. But then, obviously, it didn't happen. didn't keep up for the rest of the season. I feel like he should have just been so much better than what he was. And his last year as a Steeler was bad. He started dropping the ball and shit. And we were right to move on. It would have been nice to keep him though. I think prime AB with Wallace on the outside would have been something. That would have been a hell of a combo. Then we get Martavis. Martavis was the perfect compliment to AB. He just couldn't stay off the weed. In terms of what ifs, man, going back to what one of you said, yeah, that's got to be one of the top 3 or 4 in Steeler history. Big what if. Probably him, and then us passing on Dan Marino and taking Rivera, and then Rivera has the career-ending car accident, and we passed on Marino. Bradshaw gets hurt that same season after we pass on Marino. His career's over. We would have definitely not been in the dark ages for the 80s and 90s up until Cower. Feels like we're in the dark ages right now. Like we're in our own like period of dark ages, like post Ben, trying to figure out this quarterback shit. Shazier, that's got to be top 3, right? Martavis, Shazier, passing on Marino. Is that top 3? What ifs? Steeler history? Might be missing something. Wow. Which one? This is the leftover Keystone. I almost drank that. That's the leftover. Have I been drinking? Have you guys seen me pull up the Keystone? I don't even remember which beer I'm grabbing here. It doesn't seem like you guys are bringing up a better top 4 what if, or at least I said top 4. Those were my top 3, but no one's bringing in a 4th, or no one's bringing in something to replace my top 3. I feel like, yeah, Marino with those 80s teams and into the 90s. I mean, when did Marino retire? Like 90. Like we had some unreal defenses, like really good teams in the 90s with Cower. I mean, we went to a Super Bowl with O'Donnell. Yeah, you would think with Marino, we maybe have some Super Bowls there. You ever wonder this though? Like the whole, what do they call it? Is it the butterfly effect or something, or just like sliding doors effect? Like if we draft Marino, do we still get Ben, even though there's no overlap there? And Marino, retires in like 99 or 2000, and there's still a time period in between that and Ben. Just because we had Marino, it's like the team and the organization, all that stuff is different. So when it's time for Ben to come out of Miami, Ohio in that 04 draft, do we go 6-10 that season before and are picking at 11? Do we have already a quarterback in place post Marino that we feel like is the franchise, and we don't worry about quarterback in 04? So that's something to consider when we're talking about missing out on Marino. Maybe having Marino costs us the 2 Super Bowls from the Ben era because we don't get Ben. I don't know if you guys thought about that. Yeah, maybe the AB one. Maybe that's number 4. I think part of this goes to the Shazier, because Shazier was part of that 2017 team. I think that part of that goes into the whole, maybe just 2017 is a whole big what if. Jesse James, Jaguars lost, Shazier hurt. How about this? So you're saying the Shazier injury, biggest of all in all sports post 2000s. Like that's the biggest what if. How about this what if? You say we're trying to find his clone, we're trying to find his replacement. What if we had better coaching for Devin Bush? Maybe Devin Bush is the Shazier replacement. What if Devin Bush didn't get hurt? What if Devin Bush didn't tear his ACL? We won a Super Bowl, and Devin Bush is Super Bowl MVP. What is this combo? 80-20, Keystone Light 80%, add 20% Voodoo Ranger orange juice. Force, it's a 10. What is this beer? Like, who comes up with the name for this beer? Voodoo Ranger orange juice Force. Maybe I'll try it. That means I got to buy that Voodoo Ranger, though. I don't see myself doing that. I'm joking about the Devin Bush comment. He did play good last year, though. What if we draft Shador? I think we might still be looking for a quarterback. Actually, it's probably like this. I mean, it's the same conversation we're having with Will Howard, kind of. You know, we would have drafted Shador in like the 4th round. Rodgers is here. We don't even get to see Shador at all in his rookie year. And we're still waiting on Rodgers this offseason. The quarterback room, Shador and Mason Rudolph. And it's like, do we add another rookie quarterback to compete with Shador, to be the future guy? I think it's probably just the same conversation. So I don't think that's a good what if. I'm sorry. Yo, what's good, bro? Black and Yellow Texas Steel in the house. Yes, sir. Yeah, we've been live for a minute. This is 3 hours. I didn't even want to go. Not saying I didn't want to go live. I didn't plan on going live today. Did not plan on it. Then we draft Drew Allar. It's like, all right, I got to go live. Good question. I don't know. Maybe I'll do. I'm not going to give a real answer. Like, this isn't even going to be an answer. I'm just going to be thinking of ways to go about tomorrow. I could do just a full recap of day 3 afterwards. I could react to the 4th round pick and then react to all day 3 after. I could react to the day 4 pick and then go live for when we start picking rounds 5. Almost like what I did today. I did a video. I did some reaction to us trading up for Bernard, and then we draft Drew Allar in the 3rd, and I came on live, and then stayed on for the rest of the 3rd round, and now we're doing this post-draft show, whatever you want to call this. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's just going to be heat of the moment. So stay tuned. I mean, follow me over on Instagram or try to be paying attention over there. Does if I post to YouTube, if I post in the community or write a note on YouTube, does anyone even pay attention to that shit? Does anyone even get notifications on that stuff? Okay, you know what? I think I'm going to go live in an hour. I might go live in 30 minutes. Might go live for the 5th round pick and stay live for the rest of it. You guys get notifications for? I don't know. I don't know what the best way is to inform you guys. I haven't really used Twitter in a while. I've been posting a little bit on Instagram. Posted a story on live, so I don't know if you guys see that. I don't know. I have no clue. I give it an A- or a B+. I do. It's just turning out to be a really good draft, I feel like. Really good draft. I like all the picks now. I like all the picks given the context of we have a full 2 days of draft picks. After round 1, a lot of question marks. What the hell are we doing? We could question us taking a tackle in the 1st round. We still can, but the fact that we still got to address receiver in a good way in the 2nd round, we got a guard in the 3rd round that has potential to be our starter immediately and has position flexibility, and Dunker. And then you got competition for Will Howard and Drew Allar. Upside play right there. And a little bit of a luxury pick with Everett in that middle 3rd round pick, but a lot of upside with him. A guy that can maybe be the future alongside JPJ in that cornerback room. Once Porter signs his contract, and then maybe Dean phases out a little bit, and then Everett takes over in 2028. something along those lines. I do too. I mean, Angelicio, he's not calling the plays, but it seems like he's going to have some influence on this offense, and he's a guy that McCarthy trusts a lot. And then on defense, Patrick Graham. I'm really pumped about Patrick Graham. You got B+. This would be cool. Yeah, maybe we'll see in terms of trying to branch out a little bit, take on some business opportunity. Who knows? Yeah, that could be a next nice little step for the show, for the brand. Do some live shows from bars and shit. That would be cool. I don't know. How would that go, you think? Do you think that involves like fan interaction where I have an amp? Like not only am I speaking into the mic and it's coming through clear online, but there's an amp and it's coming out to the audience and I'm able to do like Q&As. That would actually be really cool. I'd prefer that over just me talking. I would hope it would be like engaging. We're all grabbing some beers, talking Steelers. Amazing OJ, you should do like a live group thing, like a Discord or something, somewhere, even if it's just this. We all drink and talk football. Yeah, maybe maybe I'm not grasping this idea too. I know we had a Discord going whenever I was gaming. We used to have a Discord going whenever I was playing Madden. I'm not sure how that works with kind of like what you're saying here. I fell asleep last night. I got a good sleep. I woke up, shook the hangover, saw an interview or two by him, saw some film, read some articles on why it's a good pick, and yeah, I'm warming up to it. And then especially with what we did in the second and third round today, that helps as well. Wait, so Lakers have been winning without Luka? I thought it wasn't Austin Reeves out tonight too. I saw a headline like he's hurt. That's crazy. I don't know. Oh yeah, we kind of went through that yesterday, huh? I don't know how big of a sample size or how great of a sample size it was though, because I did mention at the end of it, as I was going through all you guys commenting where you're tuning in from, because I made the take that I feel like a good portion of the people listening to this shit are just consuming Steelers content in general, or people not from Pittsburgh. It might be 50-50. It might be like 60% Pittsburgh, 40% out of Pittsburgh. But whenever we were running through the list of you guys commenting, it might have been like 70% not in Pittsburgh and 30% in the Pittsburgh area. But I did say Pittsburgh people ain't even commenting. I promise you that. Pittsburgh, like if Pittsburgh people are tuning in, they're not even commenting. So I don't know how much we could take this list seriously. I mean, it's a data point. It's something you can maybe go off of a little bit, but Pittsburgh people are too cool to be commenting that shit. I'm telling you, I'm one of them. I get it. Not from Pittsburgh fans since 96, from VA, from Moats area. Yeah. Can't be switching up now on what? My take? Yeah. New information. That's all. Yeah, new information. Why? We got more information with how we handled the rest of the draft post pick, and I got more information on the dude as a player. I think it's different if we listen, even if I start to warm up to him as a player and what his potential could be down the line, if we still shit the bed in round 2 and round 3, then I would be singing a different tune. Don't get me wrong. Like, trust me. If we missed on receive, we didn't get Bernard, if we didn't draft in the third round the way that we did, I would be grading us like a C. I would not be saying this is a good draft. I think we handled this draft pretty. We've hit on everything we've needed, right? I said we need a guard, we need a receiver, and Dunker's one of those guys you could have easily drafted in like the second round, hell, maybe even late first, and said, okay, that's around probably his range, but we just got him in the late third. So why does it matter where we got him? You're just talking about trying to bring in quality players, and that's what Dunker is. He's a guy that can start for you at the left guard spot day one, most likely, if he beats out Spencer Anderson. But if Spencer Anderson beats him out, I'm fine with that too, because it means that Spencer Anderson's probably playing pretty good in the offseason. And then you get Bernard, who's, I think, by all means, a top 6 or 7 receiver. And once you get past like the top 2 or 3 receivers, you can make an argument for him being the 4th best or being a better fit for the Steelers than Cooper, than Boston, than Concepcion, based off certain criteria. But again, we got a good receiver. We got a quality receiver that should be our number 3. So took care of those 2 things, even though it wasn't, either one necessarily wasn't in the first round. We still got quality players in the spots that we did. That lessens us taking the tackle, the project tackle, in the first round a little bit. The uncertainty, the murkiness around that lessens that type of stuff. Those causes for concern. And then with Everett and Drew Allar, I mean, hey, good picks, good little upside picks, luxury picks. But I would argue almost every pick or any position you take outside of guard or receiver is a luxury pick. I don't think any person you're taking, no matter what round, at any other position outside of guard and receiver, is stepping in day one and starting and having this huge impact for you. So that's why I don't think you complain too much about the Allar or the Everett pick either. As long as we got receiver and we got a guard that got a chance, that got a legitimate chance to be playing day one and fitting in the system and having impact, I don't think we can knock this draft too much. And if you're talking about upside, if you're talking about the luxury picks and those specific players that we got, Max, Allar, and Everett having upside, you can't get much more upside than what they bring to the table. Jet Sweet Productions. What's good, bro? Who are we talking about? Skyler? You're talking about Max? I guess it depends on who you ask. I guess it depends on what you look at. Some people think he was a top 15 prospect. Some people do view him top 40, top 45. But top 40, top 45 isn't even as low as what you're saying. Third round, that's like top 60. Top 60, top 70. Could have gotten that dude in the third round. Instead, we wasted our first round pick. Once again, idiots running this organization still thought it was Tomlin. Turns out it's all of them. We'll see, man. We'll see. I still think you can question that first round pick, even though I still like how the rest of the draft played out. I still think it's a little head scratching. I don't know what the hell we're doing on the offensive line. I think there's still a lot of uncertainty. There's a lot of cloudiness there. Do we need an RB, or is that room full? I think we need an RB that could play special teams, and in particular, I'm talking about Desmond Reed out of Pitt. That's the guy we should get. He could be our return man and also kind of compete for like 4th running back. You're right, though. The running back room is busy. We signed that. What was his name? Travis Homer from the Bears. He's like a special teams ace. He doesn't do return, but he does the coverage stuff, and he's a really good special teamer. I think he's probably like our Miles Killebrew replacement. But he plays running back, and he's most likely going to make the team because of special teams. And we still have Caleb Johnson on top of Rico Dowdle and Jalen Warren. There might not be enough room for anyone. I would love for us to bring in Desmond Reed, though. Just get him on the team. Because he could play receiver. He's one of those guys you could Swiss Army knife on offense, not to the degree of Connor Hayward. Connor Hayward more Swiss Army knife on some of those interior positions like fullback and tight end and H-back, slot receiver maybe. Whereas Desmond Reed, we're talking about him a little bit more on the perimeter, slot receiver, running back. I guess that's it actually with him. You could line him up outside and maybe like motion him and do some sweeps and shit with Reed. Just give him the ball in space, man. He's good. I'm telling you, Reed would be a really nice late round pick. Worst case could be your return man, but I don't think we would be keeping 5 running backs. I don't know if he would do enough to boot Caleb Johnson off the team or boot Travis Homer off the team. I think he would have to provide at least a little something on offense for that to be the conversation. I don't think at this stage of the game he would have a definitive role being the late round pick that he's projected to be. I don't even think he's going to get opportunity. I like the optimism. How's he even going to play? How's he even going to get snaps? Dowdle and Jalen Warren are going to be getting all these snaps. Yes, please. Please get Perkins. If we don't get Lewis, get Perkins. I want either one of those 2 linebackers. It'd be perfect. We visited with both of them, too. I mean, you can't be surprised if it happens. Get Lewis or Perkins. Yeah, let's get back to – I mean, we've been going down memory lane a lot tonight. We've been talking about, what, 2017 Steelers, Mount Rushmore of receivers. Where does AB fit? All time. We've been having good conversations with, like, memory lane type of stuff. Let's get back to the present moment. If we're talking about who we draft for tomorrow, let me do my top – I'll do a top 5 big board for tomorrow. We got what? Our 4th round pick 21 in the 4th round, which is that 121? Let me give you my big board. See, this McCoy out of Tennessee is still there, man. Do we just automatically have to have him on the big board? 1st round talent. Literally, on ESPN at least, he's number 2 in his position rank as a cornerback, and he's there in the 4th round. Probably won't last to us at 21. Probably won't be there. But by default, do we have to have him like number 1 on the big board? Maybe 2. Because I want Skylar Bell. I would have Skylar Bell 1 on the big board. I think he's the top receiver available. Still think we could use a receiver. We got a double dip at the position, even though we took Bernard in the 2nd round. And I think Bell could have easily been drafted late 2nd or in the 3rd. The fact that he's available, he had a really highly productive season at UConn, over 1,000 yards. I think double-digit touchdowns off the top of my head. 6 foot, 192. He could play multiple positions at receiver. He could do the inside-outside thing. Good route runner. So I got him 1. And we'll do McCoy at 2 by default because of the talent. Actually, we can't do that. If we're talking about combining who's available also with Steeler needs, we can't have McCoy at 2 or on this board because we took Everett at the 2nd pick of the 3rd round. We can't do that. We can't. So we'll go Skylar Bell 1. We're going to bypass McCoy. He ain't even going to be available for us. Next, I'll go Kyle Lewis. I'm going to go Kyle Lewis, and then I'm going to go – we go Kyle Lewis, Kilgore, safety out of South Carolina, then back to Harold Perkins. We go back to linebacker. And then what else? Because I think we do got to combine needs here for the Steelers. Because if we're just talking about best available overall, we should have McCoy on this list, and he probably should be number 1. But we took Everett in the 3rd round. There's just no reason to be taking 2 cornerbacks. Unfortunately, if we really wanted McCoy, we could have taken him over Everett too. That's the other thing to consider. Who would be 5th on my list though? This is my 5, or this is 4 of my 5. Bell, Lewis, Perkins, Kilgore. It might be Coleman. Or not Coleman. I'm sorry. I was looking at Coleman's name, meaning to say Caldwell. Both have a C. Maybe Caldwell. I don't know how popular that would be. I think the dude's upside's off the charts. Because you still have Surratt. He's like a safe receiver. Deion Burks out of Oklahoma. I do like Brendan Thompson's speed, but he's another small receiver, almost like Calvin Austin. I think he does return stuff, though, too. It would be between – does he? Oh, I can't remember. Kendrick Law is still there. I know he does return stuff. Wouldn't be the worst pick. I like Caldwell, though. I don't know. I think the upside's just off the charts. Take my chance with that. But we still do need to find someone that could do return stuff. Like, we really do. And that's why I like Desmond Reed as well. But that's more of a late-round pick. I don't know if I'd include him on this big board. I'm going to throw Caldwell at 5. It might be a controversial entry. What's your guys' top 5 on the big board right now, heading into tomorrow for like round 4, round 5, and who the Steelers should be locking in on? Brick Lasers, McCoy is there. We take him. I don't care about anything else. So maybe I should include McCoy in my top 5. That would make it easy. That would make it a much cleaner list. I don't have to have Caldwell in the top 5 because it might be a reach to have him at the top 5 at this point with us only still heading into the 4th round, still early. McCoy, we'll just have McCoy at 5 on the list then. How about that? We'll go Bell, Lewis, Perkins, Kilgore, and McCoy. Not in that exact order, but you get the gist of things. Around that order. McCoy at 5 is fair. Yeah, little luxury pick. Like if those 4, any of those 4 are still available before McCoy, take one of those 4. Am I doing a marathon? Fuck no. Hell no. Absolutely not. Yeah, Kilgore is probably the best safety right now out of South Carolina. Probably best safety available. He would be a value pick if taken in the 4th round, taken in the 5th round. I think that's it, guys. Unless we got more paid comments. Unless someone wants to drop a C note. I gotta say that obligatory caveat. Stick around if someone drops a 50 spot, 100 spot. Oh, wait, I didn't read this, did I? No, I didn't. Autumn Caddy. This is from earlier. Sorry. I hope you're still here to witness that I'm reading your comment and I didn't just shove it aside and forget about it. So I can't believe Cardinals drafted Carson Beck. WTF. His arm is not good. It's not bad. It's not bad. Like Carson Beck, I mean, he went to the national championship with Miami last year, was considered after his first season starting at Georgia. If he would have came out, which I don't think he was eligible to come out, but like people were talking about him being legitimately a top 10 pick in that following draft when he was eligible. Oh, I didn't read this comment either. Allar Fools. There's a lot of comments I didn't read, actually. This is good. I'm going back and checking these before signing off. Sorry. Daniel Coleman says Allar folds like a lawn chair under pressure. I think I read this one. Allar has a cannon and good pocket presence. Actually, maybe I think I did read that. Someone made that comment. I can't remember if it was a super chat or not. Yeah, I think we're all caught up now. Yeah, because I just read this one too. Cool. All right, guys. I'm out of here, man. Who dropping 50? I like this move. Yeah, I like this move. Savvy. Yeah, it's a savvy reply. There's been a lot of Mac Miller playing on the coverage. I've noticed that. A lot of Mac Miller, like little instrumentals and shit playing. That's cool. All right, guys, I'm out of here. Stay tuned for tomorrow. I don't know what I'm doing tomorrow. I'm definitely there will be content. I'll tell you that. There will be shit to talk about. There will be shit to put out there. I'll probably be clipping some stuff from tonight about Allar and Howard and what we do next. So, yeah, if you want that, in I guess a shorter version, a clipped up version of this stream, it'll be available at some point. It's maybe I don't know. Maybe it's 1:50 right now. 1:50 a.m. Maybe I'll wait for tomorrow. Who knows? We'll see how much energy I have for the rest of the night. I told you I'm like a night owl. I don't necessarily feel bad about sleeping in because of how late I stay up. It all equals out. Stay chilling, everyone. I'll see you guys tomorrow somehow, some way. Peace.